Okay.
Perfect. So, are we still for sure going on at 25? Because we're gonna have 10 minutes to fill. So, okay. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure. Sweet. Somebody was saying something about 25, but no, I'll be just fine.
Looks like 3:35 start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
Okay.
Sweet. That's all good for me. Let's see the TCU.
I was thinking, Ben, at the Open,
Yeah.
two teams always come with high expectations to get back to the College World Series, and you obviously get to see them here tonight. And then I'll talk about the fact that they are both built kind of the same, from a
Sure thing,
pitching
yeah.
defense standpoint. I'll talk a little bit about Corbin and Scott Brown sending multiple pitchers to the pro ball. Same thing with Kirk Saarloos with TCU. They've kind of built their reputation and identity around that.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, and obviously Vandy just such a sour, ending last year. It's like,
yeah,
but it's like how everybody's asking about the hitting,
right,
me included. It's like, where's the hitting at? It's kind of amazing when you look at all their numbers, though, and it's like they're, so far down in offense, and they're still the #1 overall seed, playing in the toughest conference in the country. Like, it's just amazing how good they were.
They just have to hit enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you grab your.
Let me see. Kramer, Struss-Snyder, Brunson, Franco, Liddington, Traeger, Allen, Bell, Franco. Yep, that's correct. Yep. Yep. Yeah, right guy. Yep. Good there. So you should have, Johnson at second. That's right. Johnston at third. Yep. Regan at left. Yep. Jensen at first. That's correct. Wait. And John Stone at right. Yeah. Yeah, you got him right. That's good.
Thank you. To the man.
All right.
Go get him, game 2.
Absolutely. One down. I don't know how many more to go, but we can pretend we're doing all 30 and it's 29 to go. Just to make us feel better.
You're back next week, right?
Opening day continues from Arlington, Texas. It's the 2026 Shriners Children's College Showdown from beautiful Globe Life Field, and the fans are packing in to watch a Big 12 versus SEC showdown. A couple of top 25 preseason teams square off as 10th-ranked TCU takes on 23rd-ranked Vanderbilt. Hi, everybody. Welcome back inside Globe Life Field with the former big leaguer Pat Combs. I'm Ben Wilson. A pair of disappointing finishes for both TCU and Vanderbilt last year. Vandy, the #1 overall seed, stunned by Wright State and regionals. TCU had a ton of injuries, limped into the postseason, were bounced early. Pat, always high expectations, though, for the Horned Frogs and Commodores. How do they get back to those Omaha-type chasers that they want to be?
Yeah, high expectations. That's really what it really is all about with these two schools, perennial postseason participants. But, you know, they both built their identities very similarly. A lot of great pitching over the years. Multiple pitchers gone to the big leagues from both of these schools. And great defense. You know, they hit just enough. But that's the expectation for these schools, is to continue to churn out great pitching and defense.
TCU is the visiting team. We'll see them up first as we take a look at their starting lineup. Brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most outstanding care in the world. There's a good look at Kirk Saarloos, who enters his 5th year already, 152 wins under his belt. And his Horned Frogs, this is like a home away from home for them. From just down the road in Fort Worth, they have the most wins of any college baseball program here at Globe Life Field. And this is how they line up the order. TCU bringing back 6 of their 9 returning hitters from a season ago. And 5 of the 6 starters who hit 300 or more last year are back. You see all of them littered with those 300 averages, led by Sawyer Stroh-Snyder, who is envisioned to be a first-round draft pick. First team all Big 12 as a freshman, last year's Big 12 Player of the Year. He is a major part of this order in the 2-hole. Chase Brunson, also a top 50 overall draft prospect in 2026. You see Kirk Saarloos at the top, Tim Corbin on the other side at the bottom, posing with their Shriners Children's team captains against a Vanderbilt defense. It has always been amidst the best of the country. Pat, they tied the SEC lead at .983 fielding percentage last year, coupled with one of the best pitching staffs in the country.
Yeah, just outstanding top to bottom around the lineup here for Vanderbilt. You know, they find the athletes, and they find high IQ baseball guys, and that's exactly the way they built this team. I talked about the identity being pitching, but it's also on the defensive side of the diamond as well.
Vanderbilt 23rd in the preseason rankings. As we saw Kirk Saarloos there a moment ago, there's Kirk hanging out, 46-year-old from Long Beach. And his Horned Frogs always play a challenging schedule. They will head out to LA to take on the preseason #1 in UCLA next weekend. For now, just a nice coast start into that series, right, Pat? Vandy, Arkansas, Oklahoma out of the chute, right?
Talk about a crazy schedule to start the season. My goodness, it's hard to predict, right, where these teams are going to finish out and be preseason picked, you know, when you're making your schedules 2 to 3 years out. But, yeah, what a start to the season for TCU. They're going to get tested early. But as Kirk Saarloos said, hey, this does nothing but help us. It helps us to get better, helps us to figure out where our guys are, especially when you look at the bullpens.
Meanwhile, Tim Corbin, 24th year. We're expecting him with another outstanding season from Vanderbilt. That is to be expected. He would get to 1,000 career wins at Vandy, 964 of them entering 2026. He was thrilled to have his team back in this field. They have not been at Globe Life since 2023. They started that season 2-1, but did lose to TCU on opening day.
Yeah, and Corbs is everything that you want in the head coach. He's a great leader. He's a guy that really focuses on education. He wants his guys to be, you know, fully rounded in terms of being a baseball player. But how about 2-time National Coach of the Year, 3-time SEC Coach of the Year, Tim Corbin?
Both coaches, tremendous amounts of pedigree. Kirk Saarloos, after all, first ever rookie head coach to win the Big 12 Coach of the Year award when he did in 2022. Led the Horned Frogs to the College World Series in 23. And TCU have been so good in these sorts of environments, 28-15 on neutral sites the last 4 seasons. for Coach Sarlos, former pitching coach at TCU, now the head man. As we'll see Vanderbilt take the field for a program that has been littered, Pat, with so many excellent pitchers over the years. Kind of amazing there's only one preseason All-SEC pitcher on the staff, but it is Connor Finnell. He's not a big guy, but when you watch him throw, you will learn very quickly why he is a legit Friday night ace.
Yeah, no doubt. And totally unconventional, especially when you think of a Vanderbilt staffs who have had these unbelievable draft picks over the years and power arms, but Finnell is the complete opposite. He is a not your typical SEC Friday night guy, but let me tell you, the stats and the way this guy pitches tell the story. 6-0, 2.53 earned run average last season. How about the strikeout to walk ratio? 84 punch outs, 11 walks on the season. And this guy from Londonderry, New Hampshire knows how to flat pitch. It's a 3-pitch mix, but he's got a funky delivery. And it's the fastball is in the upper 80s, but hitters will tell you it gets up on you because he has such great command of the off-speed pitches, the sweeping, breaking ball, and the changeup.
New Hampshire kid, just like his head coach in Tim Corbin from Wolfboro. Able to go back to his roots and bring in Connor Finnell, one of 2 All-SEC products on this Vanderbilt squad and the only pitcher. As his head man looks on, we're just about ready to get things underway. It's the second of 3 games today on opening day. We had a really fun one to kickstart things with Oklahoma pulling away late to knock off Texas Tech 10-3, and now our first top 25 matchup of the day.
Yeah, Finnell is proof that velocity is not everything on that pitching mound. And, you know, I love what Kirk Cignetti said when they asked him, you know, why should you be the head coach at Indiana? He says, just Google me, I win. Well, why should Finnell be the Friday night starter for Vanderbilt? You could say the same thing. Just Google me.
Yep.
That guy flat wins.
Brought over from Dayton, where he began his college career, and is ready to go. Preseason 3rd-team All-American by D1 Baseball. It's Connor Finnell and Cole Kramer for TCU. Here we go from Globe Life Field. Second of 3 today. We'll have Oklahoma State and Arkansas to wrap up the Big 12 versus SEC showdown. So far, 1-0 to the SEC. And Kramer with a end of bat squibber to the right side, played by Max Jensen for the first out. There's one thing we've learned watching Vanderbilt over the years, Pat, as much as at times the Achilles heel has been offensive production, they do not give you anything easily when they're in the field or on the mound. It is a tough defense to crack.
Yeah, no doubt. That has become a part of their overall identity throughout the years. You know, it's that is a Tim Corbin coach team. They're super disciplined. They just play the game right defensively, and you love to see that for an era that sometimes players put too much emphasis on their hitting. Corbs will have his team work as much on defense, if not more, at times.
Finnell working backwards. He starts changeup on Stroh-Snyder, and they play a big shift on the right side of the infield. Stroh-Snyder cracks one to left, gets a good charge into it, and it's gone! Stroh-Snyder goes off Otako to put TCU on the board.
Well, when you hear Major League scouts just drool over this guy, that's one big part of the reason. It's an 80-mile-an-hour changeup up in the zone and deposits in left field. It's the first run on the board for TCU quickly as that ball is just jolted. But this guy has power to all parts of the ballpark, and he shows you right there. Takes that changeup off Otako and puts TCU up 1-0.
34 extra base hits last year. Takes him 2 pitches to go yard in 2026 after 11 of them a season ago. And Chase Brunson now takes a called strike. A lot of off speed. It's the focal point of Finnell's sort of game, but that changeup had a 48% whiff rate last year. The one that
that's right.
Stroh-Snyder just deposited. Fastball just upstairs. So it's easy to sit there and go, oh, wow, that looked like a pretty average changeup, but it doesn't really tell a story. Just how deceptive it is makes that Stroh-Snyder homer even more impressive. Foul ball here off of the leg of Chase Brunson.
And I'm sure Connor Fennell would tell you that was a mistake pitch. It was a changeup left up out over the plate. But Strohsnyder just does a great job of keeping his hands back as long as he can through that power zone, and just overpowered there is Chase Brunson.
Wave and a miss. Fastball only tops out around 90, but it does sneak up on you.
Well, especially left-handed hitters for TCU. You know, you probably get this preached by Bill Mosiello, the offensive coach for the Horned Frogs. He's going to tell his left-handers, hey, try to wait back as long as you can. If you get beat on the fastball up and in, you tip your hat. But Fennell collects a lot of swing and misses with that changeup down and away from left-handers. Then he'll run that fastball in on the hands.
After a big wave and a miss, Noah Franco, last year's preseason freshman of the year, is hacking again, 0-2. Now, TCU brought in an elite freshman recruiting class, top 10 recruiting class in the country last year. Took their lumps, but they all played pretty much. It's a big reason why TCU starts this year top 10 in the country. 3 swings, 3 misses from Fennell to Noah Franco. TCU gets off to the 1-0 start thanks to Sawyer Strohsnyder, potential first-round MLB draft pick this summer. And he shows why, going yard on his second pitch of the game. TCU on top with Vanderbilt coming up next.
The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back? You've got some nerve showing up here again, looking all delicious with your fresh all-beef patties, melty cheeses, grilled peppers and onions, and jalapeno ranch. When I want you, you're nowhere to be found. And now you're back? Aw, get in here. We just missed you, that's all. The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back and harder to resist than ever. Download the app. What a burger!
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amagi business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here, you grow.
At Globe Life, we have policies for almost everybody.
Welders?
Yes.
Farmers?
Yes.
Rodeo clowns?
No, we don't cover rodeo clowns.
Construction workers?
Yes.
Electricians?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Not rodeo clowns.
Factory workers?
Yes.
Chefs?
Yes.
Birthday clowns?
Yes.
Ah, come on!
Globe Life Insurance. Affordable coverage for almost everyone.
TCU on the board first with a solo homer. Now it's Vanderbilt coming up. Their starting lineup brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. 5 returners back from last year's season that saw Vandy the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. They also brought in several really enticing newcomers. Braden Holcomb, preseason second team all SEC, is right in the heart of that order, batting 4th for Vandy. Everybody wants to know, what will the offense look like? Will it be better? Tim Corbin's tired of talking about it, but he knows his offense has to deliver this year.
Yeah, no doubt. And they don't have to be the leading hitting team in the nation. They've just got to hit enough because of how good their defense and pitching is. But certainly the same can be said for this guy on the mound, Tommy Lepore. He is an emotional leader. He's the headliner in this TCU rotation. He is a 2026 preseason All-American on multiple watch lists for Pitcher of the Year. And you're going to enjoy watching this guy if you haven't seen him pitch before. It's just a lot of emotion, and he gets after it.
He pumps the zone for a strike. The numbers last year from Lepore pretty much speak for themselves. He was the preseason Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, coming in, transfer product, and he lived up to the billing in every way.
Yeah, the fastball is going to be mid to upper 90s, and he's got a plus changeup. Now he tweaked his cutter in the fall, and it's one thing that Kirk Suttle said, hey, we limited his action. We didn't want to have his arm not super fresh coming into the spring season, but he tweaked his cutter, put a little bit more of a slurve type action into it. And Kirk said he's really getting a good feel for that pitch.
It's funny when you see a pitcher look so impressive, you go, what do you need to change? And
right.
And then you add another pitch and you go, oh man, this guy could go to another level.
Makes him even better.
And he loves pitching here. We saw him in the Kubota series last year in what felt like a super regional type atmosphere. A 2-1 TCU loss to Arkansas, where they'll have a rematch tomorrow night. Lepore went 6 strong, just 2 runs, 2 hits in that game, and then he came back here at the Big 12 tournament, shut out Houston in 6 1/3. This one is fouled off down the third baseline by Carter Johnstone leading off. Talk about the newcomers. As much as Braden Holcomb isn't a true newcomer, he was in and out of the lineup last year, but the Johnstone brothers are. This will stay fair. It's perfectly positioned for Rob Linnington, who's in their new first baseman this year for TCU. They did have to replace an outstanding shortstop in Anthony Silva, who was honorable mention all Big 12 a year ago. TCU now moves Lucas Franco into that spot. As you take a look at the defense, Franco, the preseason Big 12 freshman of the year. And it is an impressive defense for TCU, given all the pedigree, all the freshmen who got so much run last year. Pat now expected to do big things in 26.
Yeah, those 3 outfielders could just flat go get the baseball, and typical of a Bill Mosiello type of an offense with a lot of big athletes. But that outfield is elite. Those guys can flat go get it.
Yeah, Noah Franco out there, Sawyer Stroh-Snyder, Chase Brunson have all had some sort of all Big 12 accolades throughout their careers. As this pitch finds the inside edge on Colin Barczi. Barczi, somewhat of an unknown last year coming in, first year starting catcher for Vandy, and had a really nice season both offensively and defensively. Smacks one to Franco on the left side. Makes the strong throw across the diamond. Quick 2 outs for the TCU starter, Tommy Lepore.
Yeah, ball well struck off the bat of Barczi, and it's one thing that his head coach Tim Corbin said, there's a bunch of power in there, and that ball hit right on the button, but right at Lucas Franco, the freshman shortstop, getting his first assist of his college career.
Good look at Lucas out there at shortstop. Ball just to his right. It's the third baseman, Jack Bell. His throw off the line, and it takes a wild carom into right. You hope Liddington is okay, as he got clobbered by Johnston running down the line.
Yeah, that's a dangerous play. Anytime the first baseman has to come up the line and try to catch and make a tag. The ball was delivered from Jack Bell at third base up that line towards the catcher, and you can see there Liddington Jr. taking the brunt of that on his shoulder and head area. A good backup there by Brunson coming in from right field, but yeah, I gotta have a little check on Liddington, make sure his body parts are still in the right spot. Man, that was a collision.
And even with the introduction of the double first base bag now down there at first, no way you could avoid the runner. Good to see Kirk Sarlos have a smile on his face as he checks out Liddington. Looks to be all set.
Such a dangerous play, and oftentimes you'll see first basemen get their wrists caught. You know, I've seen a number of broken wrists and arms on that type of play, and good news for Liddington as he's up and at it and back in his position.
So an E5 on Bell, a veteran who gets the starting nod at third base this year. And the inning stays alive for Braden Holcomb, the only hitter on the roster preseason All-SEC on the second team. He takes a good-looking fastball, pumps it in at 95, in there for a strike.
You got Johnston to the top, Johnston in the 3-hole, and Johnstone at the bottom. It sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
It definitely does for Vandy's. This one's hit well down the right field line. That hung in there for a while, but just goes foul. Now, we saw a whole lot of Johnsons for Oklahoma earlier. OU getting a 10-3 win. Now it's Vanderbilt's turn, trying to keep the SEC line moving. Vandy 8th in the preseason poll. Hard to believe for a team that just a few months ago was the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Brody Johnson with a ton of upside as well. Returning sophomore was really become a cornerstone player for this Vandy offense. And takes strike 3 there. A nasty slider delivery from Lepore. And that'll end the inning.
So Lepore bounces back after Bell commits to E5. A clean first inning for Tommy Lepore. Gets the backwards K on Braden Holcomb. And we go to the second. TCU up 1-0.
For 2026. One night. Globe Life Field.
We've seen touchdowns, and we've seen home runs, but Arlington has never seen speed like this. A stampede of drivers who fear nothing and no one. Crowds that match the volume of 700 horsepower. A spectacle built between two of the most iconic stadiums on earth.
How cool.
This ain't our first rodeo, but it might be our fastest.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Here's a look at the TCU fans making the short drive over from Fort Worth. Horned Frogs off to an early 1-0 lead on top of Vanderbilt as we head to the top of the second. And it is TCU head coach Kirk Saarloos kind enough to join us. Kirk, we've been covering you guys last 5 years or so at this event. It's funny how I wrote down last year you told us Sawyer Strohsnyder as good as he said well, you said from a physical standpoint he's as good as you have.
Right.
And then you told us about a week ago he's even gotten better physically, which seems almost impossible. What a showing it's been for your outstanding prospect out of the gates here.
For sure. Not many times do you see a lefty go backside homer on a changeup from a righty. That's
right.
He swung through the first one and then got enough of the second one. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, Kurt, we talked about the excitement you have about this particular team. It is very athletic, and I think you've probably got a trio in the outfield, maybe some of the best in college baseball. But about your pitching staff, what excites you most about your staff?
Well, I think there's guys that can do a lot of different things, which is cool. I wish we had a couple more lefties in there in the bullpen, but we got a lot of guys with some versatility that pitched a lot for us last year. We added a couple bullpen pieces that I felt like have done it at other schools, which will help us this year. So I'm excited. There's a lot of different guys, a lot of different roles, a lot of different looks down there, and I'm excited for them.
Yeah, Tommy Lepore off to a great start today, and like you said, he brings so much emotion to the game, and he's just been just a great leader. You say he loves the game of baseball, and what does he do for your staff?
Well, it's funny. He's probably the team gives him the nod in the best dressed, best dancer, funniest. So he's got a lot going for him.
I mean, that's a hat trick right there. You don't see it all often. It's funny how you look at the roster composition. So many teams in today's day and age, Kirk. It is tons of transfers up and down, all sorts of new faces. I mean, you guys, with how good the freshman class was last year, it feels like the rare situation in college baseball where you've got a roster that you know a little bit. What's that dynamic been like?
Yeah, we're always going to try and, build our roster on high school players, and we've been very fortunate over the last couple of years of getting a lot of those guys through the draft and getting them to campus. So the next thing you do is you just kind of supplement them with guys like Rob, that is a transfer guy, and a couple other guys, just to supplement your roster. Our roster is only 34 guys, and so all those guys that we got coming back from last year who has a ton of experience, and now this year just adding some pieces around them.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate the time as always, Kirk.
Thanks, guys. Go Frogs.
Good battle here from Rob Linnington Jr. Good to see that hit. Did not really take anything out of Rob, who got a knock there fielding an errant throw in the first inning, but he's back and set to make his TCU debut, who his coach Kirk Saarloos was just talking about, coming over from Incarnate Word. And quite the at-bat to begin your career here, Pat. Really making Finnell work.
And coming off that play at first base, you get your bell rung, you see some dirt on his elbow there. He took a pretty good shot down there. Then he's going to bat, this inning. And Yeah, no time to really gather your thoughts. It's just get in the box and go to hit against one of the better pitchers that you'll see all season, more than likely. But yeah, especially making the jump from that level of baseball into this D1 world, it's just a different brand of baseball.
And with every foul, and also with every knock you take, hanging in there, you just gain more respect from your teammates, and they are loving it right now from Rob Liddington.
Yeah, Fennell threw 12 pitches in the first inning, 11 for strikes. So you can see the approach now with TCU is, hey, we got to get in the box and get ready to hit pretty quick. And Liddington making him work.
And it might just be a supplemental piece when you're talking about a transfer in Rob Liddington, but at the same time, Kirk Saarloos had told us this is a guy who could have a major impact as he swings and misses here in the heart of the lineup. So even though he strikes out, had to make Fennell work awfully hard for that one, as it is a first down via the K.
Yeah, you love to see that battle, especially early in the game. And you think about the pitch count, especially early in the season. You know, if we can run pitch counts up on the starting pitcher, get him out of there, that's a plus. So how about that? A 12 pitch at bat for Rob Liddington Jr.
Slapped foul down the left field line from Nolan Traeger. Anytime you can double a pitcher's pitch count in one AB.
That's a pretty good deal.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, I'll take a 12-13 pitch count anytime. And even with the strikeout, that was just a great battle.
Riker waits off a blistering ball back up the middle, positioned perfectly for the 6-3 put out on Traeger. And it brings up another newcomer, Brady Dallimore, who there were not a whole lot of true freshman pieces brought in for TCU. There were some, but when you have a top 10 recruiting class, it's not like you need a huge bevy of them. Yet Dallimore's the one guy, along with Lucas Franco, really those two who are going to be mainstays most likely in this TCU lineup.
Well, Dallimore, just an extreme talent and a guy that you'll probably see catch at the next level at some point. But high baseball IQ guy, and I think it's Kirk Saarloos saying, well, we give you a chance early in the season to prove yourself up with the bat. That's always the biggest transition coming from the high school ranks. How do you handle this type of pitching?
Swing and a miss. Now Connor Fennell now with make it 4 punch outs in his last 5 batters faced, bouncing back from that Stoyer Stroh-Snyder solo homer in the first. 1-0 Frogs to the bottom of the second.
Every shot starts with belief. Something extraordinary can happen. Shriners Children's provides hope, healing, and the chance to dream big. They never allow the ability to pay to compromise the care children receive. Shriners Children's empowers the extraordinary, and you can too. Join me in supporting this life-changing cause and help provide the most amazing care anywhere.
The biggest weekend in rodeo is coming to Arlington, Texas. The American Rodeo Championship Weekend returns May 22nd and 23rd at Globe Life Field, with special live performances from two-time Grammy-nominated Midland on Friday and country superstar Chris Young on Saturday. This is rodeo at its finest, and the only place to experience it is Globe Life Field. Don't wait. Tickets are on sale now at AmericanRodeo.com.
Winter, the only season you can't see a go-ahead home run. Can't witness a filthy strikeout.
Holy moly!
Can't even experience a walk-off.
That ball is history!
And you're reminded there really are only 2 seasons, winter and baseball.
How about that?
So how do you win your winter? You get ready for baseball. Single game tickets now on sale, all for Texas.
TCU on top 1-0 in the second thanks to an early Stoyer Stroh-Snyder homer. Here's the look at what the Horned Frogs have done just a few miles away from home. At Globe Life Field, 20-10, the first college baseball program to 20 wins. 20 miles, not that far, Pat, and they like to take early BP over at the home stadium, come out over here, and just feels like home for Kirk Saarloos.
No doubt. Little home field advantage for the Frogs.
Jam shot to stop the bottom of the second. It falls in for a base hit. Mac Whitcomb able to fight that one off of Tommy Lepore. And Vanderbilt, after getting one base runner in the first thanks to an E5, has their first base hit of the season.
I get on the hands of Mac Whitcomb, but able to muscle it out there to right field. Saw them pull those hands in, but ate him up. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit them, it's just where they fall. And that one falls in for a base hit.
So welcome to Vandy. Mac Whitcomb, former Tennessee Tech Golden Eagle, transfers in his first plate appearance is a single. Now Rustin Rigdon taking a called strike. As much as Vanderbilt struggled at the plate last year in high leverage moments, they did have great eyes up and down the order. Do not give you a lot of free swings and misses. Rigdon led the way, 51 walks last year, also stole 19 bases.
Yeah, one of those incredible athletes that Tim Corbin loves to have on his roster. Very versatile, can play infield, outfield. Quick wheels, quick out of the box. Yeah, a lot to like about Rustin Rigdon.
Down the count 1-2. I feel like if you're both coaches, you gotta love this for your hitters, getting the experience against top flight college starters. As this fastball caught a piece. Wow. Well, Laporte reached back for something extra. He went 97 on that fastball, and it just narrowly caught Rigdon's jersey.
Yeah, you saw Rigdon just did not give up anything in the box, and it just barely nicked that guard. Yeah. Joe Harris, hoping umpire heard it. Awards at first base. So a couple of runners on now, no outs. Tommy Laporte has to work through some trouble.
It is Max Jensen, another transfer for Vandy, coming over from Cornell. Takes down and in, coming off knee surgery, didn't play in the fall, but they love the sort of upside that Jensen brings. This is a Vanderbilt team, and their fans don't want to hear about it, but that is the story with them. They were 15th out of 16 in the SEC in batting average last year, just 10 runs in 3 regional games. To the right side, that's a little bleeder that is controlled at second, but they just get one out. That was a job well done by Kramer on what very easily could have been bases loaded, nobody out.
Yeah, great play by Cole Kramer at second base. Goes far to his left to get that high hopper. Yeah, Rob Whittington, first baseman, came over and across, couldn't reach it, but Kramer did a great job of filling the hole over there, making a strong throw with Laporte covering first base just in time to get Max Jensen. Big first out of the inning for TCU.
The old 4-1 put out puts Riker Waite up. Called strike on the outside edge. As he watches a changeup outside. Talk about a guy who gained a ton of confidence over the summer, and he is the classic player where you hope the Cape Cod League pays dividends, and it did for Waite. He was incredible, 825 OPS. It's a high pop-up. That is up near the beams here at Globe Life. This is not the easiest ball to handle, but Jack Bell's able to track it in for the second out.
Yeah, Bell calling off catcher Nolan Traeger. You do not want your catcher trying to make that type of catch.
No.
The ball's got some spin on it. You said, man, it was up really high, almost caught the rafters here at Globe Life Field. And a good job by Bell to get over there and communicate early enough for Traeger to peel off.
Now what a big win this would be for Laporte to get out of the second unscathed. Logan Johnstone, big moment to make your first AB at a new school. Transfer over from Wazoo, where he was all conference and the Mountain West last year for the Cougars.
And the older brother of Carter, who was the leadoff hitter today, and we'll see him he's on deck.
Count works to 2-0. Johnstone all conference for Wazoo in the Mountain West. Carter Johnstone, Big West freshman field player of the year at Cal State Fullerton. works the count 3-0.
A really good plate discipline from both the Johnstones, but especially Logan. More walks and strikeouts last season.
Taking all the way, works it to 3-1 against Tommy Lepore, who didn't really pitch much in the fall. They wanted to limit his workload after going to the collegiate national team over last summer. He misses high and tight, and the bases are full of Commodores with 2 outs in the second for Carter Johnstone.
Yeah, talk about the patience of Logan Johnstone, and pays off there. Didn't go chasing.
Nolan Traeger calling an early meeting of the infield out at the mound.
Lepore had 12 pitches in the first inning, and I can add 14 to that total.
Good look at Tommy. Certainly something to be said for TCU. We talked at the start of the inning about all the familiarity here, and goes for Lepore as well, having pitched multiple times last year coming over from Wichita State. This changeup taken just out of the zone, 1-0. Carter Johnstone led the Big West in hitting during conference play and had a healthy hack, but behind 97 on a fastball that we've seen touch 99. That's the kind of arm Lepore has.
Yeah, and he's reaching back a little bit here. Obviously, given the situation, bases loaded. Tough hitter to strike out here, and Carter Johnstone. Really good bat to ball skills.
Some juice in the building today. A lot of TCU fans already on their feet here, making the short 20-mile trip over from Fort Worth. Just outside. 98 on that fastball.
Called by Joe Harris. A few balls off the plate.
The 2-2. Tapped foul. First look today, by the way, for our flow tracker we'll have with you all weekend. You always love when it's opening day and you already get a postseason type atmosphere and situation. That's why these teams come here. That's why they want to play the games.
No doubt.
A rematch of the 2023 season opener. Hit hard to the right side. Will it hang up there? It will. Brunson tracks it down in right. And Lepore escapes the bases loaded jam. We go to the third. Remains TCU on top, 1-0.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger, like the new Big Ranch Wrap, a crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with our Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese. Make it even bigger with fries and a drink for a little more. Now that's a big deal. The Whata deal, now at What a Burger. Download the app.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Forrest Frank, the Jesus Generation Tour. Live in a 360 in the round experience. With special guests Tori Kelly, Corey Asbury, plus the Figs. On sale now at forrestfrank.com. Don't miss the Jesus Generation Tour with Forrest Frank.
Jesus is coming down.
Produced by TPR.
Here's a look at some of the traveling Vandy fans with an early 1-0 lead for TCU. We head to the top of the third. So pleased to be joined now by 24th year head coach of the Doors in Tim Corbin. Great to have you back, Coach, after a couple of your absence here at Globe Life and the Shriners College Showdown. What's it been like here just watching your offense go to work against such a good top-flight pitcher in Tommy Lepore? What do you make of some of these early at-bat approaches out of your guys?
Well, actually pretty good. I mean, that was a longer inning, so we built up the pitch count a little bit, and we hit the ball hard with guys on bases. We just, hit him at him balls. So good, good so far. Just 2 innings.
Yeah. Tim, Pat Combs here. Congratulations, first of all, on attending David Price's Hall of Fame induction last night. I'm sure you were super proud of that guy and all that he's done at Vanderbilt. Coach, in an era where velocity is just there's so much made of it, right? I mean, look at this guy like Connor Fennell. He kind of defies the logic there when it comes to high velo, but what makes him so special?
Well, I think it's command, attack. I mean, and we talked about it on the call the other day. It's more about the human with the ball, not the ball itself. And, I was just thinking last night at that dinner, there were a couple guys, Kip Bachnight being one of them from the University of South Carolina, who probably maxed out at 88 miles an hour, but he won a lot of baseball games. He was very competitive. He could command the ball, could mix pitches, and that's kind of what Connor does too. He's got a good pace to him, and he gets after the hitter. He's on top of him.
Yeah, Tim, I know a lot of Ranger fans are so thankful for you because they've got a couple of guys named Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter here in Ranger uniforms, and you just continue to churn out these pitchers year after year. What is the formula there?
Well, we were really lucky to have those two guys. I mean, I think, the formula is getting good players, right? It's those two guys ended up coming to school and for the draft. So that was big for us. They're really good players, and they pitch very well. And I think maturity, too. You talk about maturity. Kumar certainly did that. Jack was mature coming in, but they both just attacked the environment really, really well and got better. And as they got better, we really leaned on them because that 2021 year when we went to College World Series, those two guys almost popped a win every weekend.
I'm certainly excited to watch your team, Tim, continue to develop here in 2026. Appreciate the time. We'll be checking in with you throughout the weekend. Always really do appreciate it.
Likewise. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And how about the bounce back here from Connor Fennell with 5 Ks, Pat, last 6 batters faced. This one cracked into right center, though. Hard hit from Lucas Franco. It is caught at the warning track. Great play out there by Braden Holcomb, who just had enough room.
Wow, what a catch. What a catch. Holcomb had to go a long way to track this one. That ball looked like it had danger written all over it. Heading towards the 410 sign in right center field, and Holcomb covered a lot of ground and makes the catch just before crashing into the wall. And Lucas Franco in his first collegiate at bat gives it a ride and comes up just a few feet short of making that something special.
Did not miss it by much. Can you imagine, as a freshman, you come out against one of the best pitchers in the country and you go yard?
Do that, yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, Lucas Franco is that type of player. I had an opportunity to coach him for a couple of summers when he played for the Texas 12, and that kid has just got major league talent written all over him, and great to see him have a great debut here in his first at bat.
A very loud second out, 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the third. Cole Kramer gets to turn the order around. Watches a curveball outside.
Well, how about this for a pitch count, Ben? 36 pitches thrown by Fennell, 33 for strikes.
Not bad. And yet another one.
Yeah, Tim mentioned it, just the command, the control, the authority this guy has on the mound, and to be able to do what he does with 3 pitches, pretty amazing. That is a mature pitcher.
It is a Mark Burley level type of tempo as well. He wants the ball and he wants to throw it. Gets the swing and a miss. 2 more punch outs in the third inning for Connor Fennell. Has 6 through 3. As the Vandy boys come to bat in the bottom of the third, down 1-0.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amagi business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Every at-bat.
That one is gone!
Every pitch.
Got him swinging!
Every angle.
He will score, and the Rangers are in front!
From pre-game to post-game. From the truck to the booth.
I hope you're fired up at home, sitting on the couch, watching your favorite baseball team.
It all starts here. Rangers Sports Network, the official home of Rangers baseball.
The Rangers Foundation is really proud to support our community where they need us and when they need us. Crowds are bigger each year, and we're able to bring our donors in, and with the silent and live auction, we've raised almost $9 million to give back to our community.
Every year I come and support our organization. That's what we do best, helping the community.
Six remarkable kids have each teamed up with a participating university for the Shriners Children's College Showdown Team Fundraising Challenge all weekend long. Teams will compete to see which fan base can raise the most money in support of Shriners Children. So scan the QR code you see right there on your screen or visit shrinershowdown.org to donate in honor of your favorite team today. Arlington, Texas, on an opening day Friday inside Globe Life Field. We're up over 30,000 already, and the weekend has just begun, Pat.
Great weekend of baseball. Boy, if you're a baseball fan and you don't want to wait for the pro scene to turn up, man, this is a great weekend. In fact, the next 3 weekends here at Globe Life Field, you're going to see some tremendous competition with some of the best teams in college baseball coming in.
30 games, not bad. You know, last year set a record here, 89 draft picks played at Globe Life if you count Shriners opening weekend and then the 2 following weekends at the Kubota series. Hard hit ball, deep left center, off the bat of Barczi, and we are tied into the upper tank.
Wow. That ball was smoked. 452 feet. About 112 on the exit velo. Colin Barczi, that is big league power. That's when you just go, wow. Look how far that went.
The 96-mile-an-hour fastball meeting barrel with perfect timing. Barczi ties it, and it is a new ball game here in the bottom of the third. And you don't see that happen often to Tommy Laporte with a fastball with that much life and velocity on it. But my goodness, you tip your hat to Barczi. Vanderbilt just 66 home runs, 4th straight year their home run number had declined going back to last year as Johnston fouls it off. They brought in a new hitting coach this year, Jason Esposito, who played at Vandy back in the early 2010s, actually led them to their first ever College World Series appearance. Where a slider is blocked down in the dirt. So you had to figure, Pat, right? This Vanderbilt program, who still got the #1 overall national seed in spite of all their offensive struggles, where they were just 199th overall nationally in OPS, that they'd have to have an uptick on offense. And we have seen some quality at-bats. Hadn't really resulted in anything big until that one.
No, I think it's a tip of the hat to Jason Esposito. You know, former Vanderbilt player, played at Vandy back in 09 to 11, and you know, had a chance to play some pro ball with Baltimore, 3rd-round pick. Part of that College World Series team back in 2011, and you know, long-time coach in the Guardian system. He has brought some new ideas, and sometimes that's what you need, just kind of that fresh approach, right? Eyes on the players and giving them some ideas and some tips that he's picked up obviously around pro ball, but yeah, certainly we're seeing a difference so far.
This ball's hammered 112 off the bat of Brody Johnston. So a 452-foot moonshot to start the inning from Barczi, and now Johnston with a frozen rope to left.
Yeah, these three guys at the top of this Vanderbilt lineup, I think if you ask the question to Tim Corbin, how talented are these guys, and compare them to historicals in Vanderbilt's history, I bet he would tell you that these three, Johnstone, Barczi, and Johnston, have a chance to be something special.
Braden Holcomb with a missile back up the middle. Johnston, a hard turn around second. Be careful over there. He's able to scamper back. I can't remember the last time Tommy Lepore gave up 3 balls hit as hard as these have been back to back to back.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's the fastball that's getting attacked, and Vanderbilt is jumping all over those deliveries. It's not a terrible pitch there. Pitch that was probably caught the outer third of the plate, but Holcomb was leaning out over the middle of the plate, catches it on the barrel, and a good chance for Kirk Saarloos to, some words of wisdom with his pitcher Tommy Lepore. We talked about him adding a new pitch to his repertoire, but these are the fastballs that are getting hit so far this inning. Lepore has a great changeup, and sometimes that pitch will get neutralized against these right-handed hitters. He tends to go more with the cutter or the slurve that he's developed. But the changeup is probably his second best pitch outside of his fastball, and it's a plus changeup.
Kirk Saarloos, so much experience in that sort of specific role before he took over as head coach, longtime pitching coach in Fort Worth, where he'd spent 8 seasons there. Always seems to be a staff so good at making in-game adjustments, and Lepore no exception to that. 26th ranked overall prospect for this summer's MLB draft. And we will see Nolan Traeger come out, make a couple calls to shift the defense.
Yeah, they're anticipating bunt is TCU, and Whitcomb certainly handles the bunts well. Now he pulls back.
Just outside.
Whitcomb, one of those guys that gives Tim Corbin a lot of flexibility. Of course, can catch. Today he's in the DH role.
And not often you see 2 catchers on a team in the starting lineup, but that's how Vanderbilt feels about the strength of that position, so they can go DH today for Whitcomb.
Yeah, well, Barczi and Whitcomb both can hit. That's what they bring. So you might see that trade-off when one's catching, the other will DH.
Great luxury. How taxing that position is defensively as the count goes to 1-2. And another player in Mac Whitcomb with a great eye at the plate. 53 walks, 45 Ks last year with Tennessee Tech in the Ohio Valley Conference. Chops one, just foul. I'm sure Tim Corbin doesn't mind either being in this sort of position, a little bit under the radar, underrated coming into this season, just barely cracking the top 25. They don't have a single top 100 draft prospect for this year on the roster, but you can tell the talent is obviously there.
Yeah, when's the last time that happened? Not a top 100 player on Vanderbilt's roster?
I do not remember.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Lepore able to battle back, and he goes back to the trusted fastball to get Whitcomb on strikes.
Yeah, 96 up in the zone, and did a better job of mixing pitches that time, and just threads the glove of Nolan Traeger and hits that pitch right past Whitcomb. That's the name of the game, to speed him up, slow him down.
Was in a great position first matchup against Rigdon before he came in and nicked his elbow guard. That strikeout put an end to 4 straight hard hit balls if you go back to the second inning. And pumps in the strike. You do like to see that after pulling the changeup on the 0-1 pitch from Tommy Lepore, but not afraid to keep sticking with the fastball even when it gets hit hard. That's a sign of a vet who's been through a whole lot of games in his career. The 0-2 goes with that slurve type pitch he's developed.
Yeah, a couple of good changeups to start the sequence, then slider down, and that's only a pitch you throw if you really trust your catcher, and Traeger's a good one. He is a great backstop back there, and Lepore trusted him to keep that ball out in front.
Bounces another one right on cue. No issue for Traeger. It is interesting how the cut fastball that this pitch has morphed into now, or morphed from, I should say, it was hanging in the 90, 93 range. It's only a few miles an hour below where his fastball was. Now you add in a 10, 12 mile an hour drop off. That's part of what Kirk Sarlos told us made this additional pitch.
That's right.
The morphing of it so interesting for him and his staff. Goes fastball and freezes Rigdon. 97, and it's a second out for Lepore in the inning.
Yeah, Rigdon just had no chance on that pitch. It's 97 mile an hour at the knees, and you see that high spin right fastball just stays planed. Man, it's tough after you see 4 straight off-speed pitches, and he throws that 98 at the knees.
Max Jensen now out in front of the change.
Yeah, that's that signature changeup, and you can see the movement there. That ball started out outer third of the plate, ends up about 3 or 4 balls off the plate. That's that strong dart away from the left-handed hitters.
Now the seesaw continues. Vanderbilt for 3-4 batters. They were on the Lepore repertoire. Now it's Tommy who's been able to flip the script here. He's got Vandy all off balance.
Yeah, mixing those pitches much better here. These previous 3 hitters. So I'm really trying to attack with that fastball, but a couple of them out over the middle plate. Those are the pitches good hitters are supposed to hit.
Now 1-2 to Max Jensen. Just missed a hair low. I think anytime a pitcher goes through such a competitive conference, whether it's SEC, Big 12 like Lepore did, and day in, day out, have the stuff, have the consistency. As this one's boomed back up the box, they can go the easy way to second. Always super impressive to see that. At 6 straight quality starts last year, Tommy Lepore gives up a moonshot to start the inning, but works back from it, and we're tied at 1 going to the 4th.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger, like the new Big Ranch Wrap, a crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with our Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese. Make it even bigger with fries and a drink for a little more. Now that's a big deal. The Whata Deal, now at What a Burger. Download the app.
Every shot starts with belief. Something extraordinary can happen. Shriners Children's provides hope, healing, and the chance to dream big. They never allow the ability to pay to compromise the care children receive. Shriners Children's empowers the extraordinary, and you can too. Join me in supporting this life-changing cause and help provide the most amazing care anywhere.
1-1 game as we go to the 4th inning after giving up an early Solar homer. Connor Finnell has been absolutely dialed in, Pat. 6 Ks for the opening day ace for Vandy.
Yeah, 6 out of the first 10 hitters he's faced. And it's incredible stuff. You know, you think about a guy that only throws upper 80s, low 90s with the fastball, but it comes in much harder than that to a hitter because of the fact that he can control his off-speed pitches. And you try to preach that to young pitchers, that it's not the hardest thrower that wins. It's a guy that can spot his stuff up and get ahead of hitters. And that fastball plays a lot faster than that 88 to 90 that we've seen.
Ready to go. Rematch against Stroh-Snyder. This should be good. Stroh-Snyder took a second pitch changeup, backside opposite way for a home run. He comes inside on him here, 2-0.
Yeah, Stroh-Snyder's hands are so quick to the ball, and you've got to get him off the plate. You got to make him uncomfortable, and that's exactly what Fennell has done. First couple of pitches, ball up in the zone, inside. Now he goes back to that changeup.
Good look at Sawyer Stroh-Snyder. He didn't play a whole lot in the fall, was dinged up a little bit, but they've got him fully healthy. Off a .350 season last year, Big 12 Freshman of the Year.
There's a good indication of what he's improved on this past season, Ben, is his pitch selection has improved so much. And that's what Kirk Salo said. That was one area he really wanted him to improve throughout the fall, and he has done that. He has got a lot less swing and miss, and he's being more patient.
And you hardly ever see that out of Connor Finnell. Only walked 11 last year in 53 1/3 innings. But you can obviously see the respect he has for Stroh-Snyder with a leadoff walk.
There's no doubt about that. He pitched him a lot more careful that time and really tried to move the ball around the zone and in and out, up and down. And Stroh-Snyder said, "That's fine. I'll just take the walk."
Because Connor Finnell is one of the nation's premier pitchers, you could potentially get away with pitching around a guy like Stroh-Snyder, but you don't believe many pitchers will try that, Pat, because when you have Chase Brunson following him up and then Noah Franco after, this middle of the order is so good.
Yeah, he's well protected. That's exactly what you want in a lineup, and probably a good reason why Stroh-Snyder's batting second. In a lot of lineups, he'd be batting third or fourth. Stroh-Snyder, a definite threat to run. He is probably one of the faster guys on this roster. Good base runner, reads pitchers well.
Tell Finnell, those eyes in the back of his head can sense Stroh-Snyder wants to go.
And the key for Fennell here is just be as quick to the plate as you can without losing control, but give your catcher a chance.
A little excuse me half swing. It basically serves as a sac bunt as Finnell fields his position and throws to Jensen at first.
And Fennell actually turned the wrong way to throw to first base that time and kind of opened himself up. It threw a little bit high, but Jensen able to corral it.
It's Noah Franco who digs in. He's drinking these middle of the order matchups. Oh, good move. He got Stroh-Snyder leading the wrong way, but just dives back in safely.
A nice quick move on the mound, too. Turned those feet quickly after he saw Stroh-Snyder leaning.
Great atmosphere here inside the ballpark as Finnell digs in. He's really settled in since that Stroh-Snyder first inning solo shot. Half swing and a definite offer there from Noah Franco. in a fascinating position this year, Noah Franco, given how much of a threat he is as a two-way player, Pat. And they told us coming into the year they wanted him to kind of pick a lane. Franco gets into this one to center. Long run for Holcomb. Has enough room to make the catch on the track. Stroh-Snyder tagging, goes to third. And that one just off the end of the bat. Enough from Franco to hang up there on the track.
Yeah, well struck, and see plenty of power there from Franco. And Schultz at about 400 feet. Nice job by Holcomb to reel it in. Had to go a long way for it. And had to turn quickly, get the ball back into the infield. That's one of those plays, if you have any lackadaisical about it, then Stroh-Snyder can score from second. So good job defensively getting the ball back in quick.
And it's Rob Liddington who worked Connor Finnell for a 13-pitch AB, even though he struck out back in the second. High drive from Liddington that turned around Holcomb, but he is able to recover and makes the catch. Another loud out for TCU in the inning, but Connor Finnell works around the leadoff walk. Good pitchers duel developing. 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
How are you, buddy?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Coach Sarlos.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Fisher being around, it's really neat and cool because, you know, he's 12 years old, about to turn 13. Baseball player, shortstop, football player, quarterback. So really, really good athlete. What happened?
So I was playing football, ran a QB sneak, fell on my wrist, and I broke my growth plate. I was thinking I might have just ruined my sports career.
Shriner was really an answer to prayer because we weren't sure what the next step was. Walking in knowing their goal was to get him back in the game was all we needed to feel like we were in the right place.
Shriners Children's is a global leader in sports injuries and rehabilitation. Sports medicine has been extremely important for us as we continue to try to help the children and their families, regardless of the ability to pay.
What's really awesome about Fisher is that he's such a high-spirited, high-energy kid, even though this did happen to him. Having him out here is really important to us because it shows there's a place for everybody on this squad.
Fisher's part of our family now, and he's part of Shriner and their family. Our job as a family is to look out for one another.
Go Frogs!
Bunch of kids at the ballpark. It is opening day after all. So great to see the pomp and circumstance of the season opener back here. It's game number 2 of our opening day triple header. TCU and Vanderbilt locked in a good one apiece to the bottom of the fourth. I think what's impressed me most, Pat, about this matchup, you clearly have Tommy Lepore and Connor Finnell, 2 of the premier pitchers we have in the game. And yet these opposing offenses have not been afraid of the moment whatsoever. We've seen some really good ABs, even though both guys have their excellent stuff today.
Yeah, we are. It's a number of hard hit balls. Absolutely the home runs for sure, but yeah, some balls have been hit well to center field, and a couple in the gaps have been tracked down, but yeah, they're getting their swings in.
It's 8-9-1 for Vandy with Riker Waite, second-year freshman. Takes a fastball just inside, quickly works a count 3-0. Now, the last time Vanderbilt was here, their number 51 was a guy by the name of Enrique Bradfield. Pretty good. Now Riker Waite's wearing that same number.
Yep. He's one of those twitchy infielder types, and another athletic position player for Tim Corbin in the Vandy boys. He's a tough out. That time takes ball 4.
And Lepore had to do a lot of work after giving up a leadoff homer in the last inning, then back-to-back singles. Not the way he wanted to start, with the imposing top of the order about to come up. And Logan Johnstone starting opening day in right field today for Vanderbilt. Certainly a very open outfield competition, though, for Vandy.
Yeah, third free pass issued by Lepore. A couple of walks, hit batter. Error back in the first was the fourth free base that TCU's given up.
Runner fakes, and it's a pop-up induced down the infield. Who wants it? Lucas Franco the call. Good thing that Waite did not take off.
Good change up that time from Lepore. Got Johnstone way out in front of that pitch.
As much as we talk about, too, the theme in this opening weekend, it's usually limited pitch counts, wanting to ease guys in. If there are two guys who their respective coaches might just trust them to air it out a little bit, it's probably Lepore and Finnell, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of trust between those guys and the coaching staff, you know, and I know oftentimes when I was pitching, I'd have a coach come and say, hey, how you feeling? Is there anything left in the tank? Yeah, I think that's the conversations oftentimes when you have a more mature pitcher, and definitely trust when he's feeling good or not starting to feel like the tank's getting empty.
I think probably the hardest part for Kirk Saarloos was having Lepore away from the program this summer and pitching with the national team in such a great high-profile situation. Here he gets a wave and a miss on a changeup, where you obviously want your guy to have success, right, and get that opportunity, but there's not as much control as you have as far as his innings and the limitations. But they were able to make up for that by being confident in, kind of holding him back a little bit, reducing the innings in the fall, not worrying about needing to build him back up.
Yeah, that's one thing both of these coaches are really good at, you know, just controlling the environment, helping their guys to succeed, and they see a lot of these guys are going to be playing at the next level. And the worst thing you can do as a coach is overthrow a guy or, you know, do something that would cause any damage to his career. And
high pop into shallow left. Noah Franco comes on, makes the catch.
Most college coaches are not going to sacrifice a guy's arm first game of the season. This is a long season, so you're wanting to build arm strength, and you know, the proper maintenance and arm care is always important. But the pitch counts early in the season do make a difference.
And just like we saw between Finnell and Strohschneider in the last inning, it's a rematch for Lepore and Barczi. I have a hard time believing, Pat, we'll see a homer hit further than Colin Barczi.
That ball was smoked, yeah.
I mean, 452. We've seen a couple upper tank shots in our time here, but that was a solid 5-6 rows up out there in deep left center.
Well, that's when you got a guy throwing 96 to 98 on the mound, right? The power comes from the pitch. He just put the barrel on it.
Fouled back. 1-1 game here in the bottom of the fourth. TCU, a club that had 4 different expected key pitchers last year, either missed the entire season or missed basically all of it. Horned Frogs were so decimated by injuries, limped into the postseason. With a foul back, but they have retooled, regrouped, got their talented freshman class back now as sophomores, have Lepore, one of the best pitchers in the country. One and two coming to Barczi. Good take.
And Lepore trying slider there. I think he had him set up for it. Had a couple of fastballs up in the zone and tries to get Barczi to chase that slider. See if he goes back to it.
TCU pitching staff that has strikeouts in their DNA. Think about last year, 550, which is a ton of strikeouts, but that was sort of rookie numbers for what TCU's used to, and they went over 600 a couple times as the runner goes. This one put in play, but right back to Lepore. He'll handle it with the underhand flip, and Barczi is retired. Outside of a couple homers, pitchers continue to deal. 1-1 game headed to the 5th.
Today we're here to celebrate and bring into our program Anita, who happens to be a patient at Shriners Chicago, where she receives therapy and rehabilitation.
When we took her to the hospital, they had no clue what was wrong. He said, I have no idea. All I know is that her body is declining fast.
That was septic shock that was inside of her body.
Everything like turned purple and black, no blood flow and everything in my legs. So basically had to amputate my legs because of that. At first, you realize you don't have legs and you feel like you can't walk anymore. And we went up to Shriners Chicago. They did intense therapy. After that, it was just basically walking like a normal person would walk. And it was really nice.
Your family is your inner team, but you need external people who have knowledge and know-how. The Shriners provide that.
The Shriners are doing God's work. They're providing families what they need when maybe sometimes they don't have the resources to do that.
We are so proud to carry out our mission, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
Anchor down!
Great battle unfolding between TCU and Vanderbilt. 1-1 game to the 5th. The TCU Horned Frogs preseason favorites in the Big 12. Not that Kirk Saarloos will read much into that. However, it's a deep league as always. 14 teams now for the 2nd consecutive year. And TCU, after being bounced 2 and done in the Corvallis Regional last season, very high expectations for a top 10 preseason team.
Yeah, it's probably the most well-rounded team that Kirk Saarloos has had in his 5 years at TCU in terms of the head coach. Now he's been there a lot longer, 14 seasons as an assistant coach. But yeah, this is a very talented group, top to bottom of the lineup. We've already seen the power, versatility, the athleticism. The pitching staff is outstanding. 3 really solid weekend rotation guys and a deep bullpen. So no doubt there's a reason why TCU picked first in the Big 12.
Start this 5th inning. Nolan Traeger, 6, 7, and 8 for TCU. I see your Baylor Bears. They're moving on up. They were last year, but they got off to a great start under Mitch Thompson, up to 11th.
Yeah, just struggled in conference play.
Progress, though. Okay, we're
making progress, making steps.
They're on pace for in the next like 4 years to be, if you just follow that logic.
Well, Nolan Traeger is Kirk Saarloos, kind of the dad of this team. He's just a great veteran leader. This time pops one up on the infield, though.
Tandeby waits for a first down. It almost feels like these hitters have to take some chances early in counts against these opposing pitchers, or else you just get buried if you're down in the count, the way Finnell on one side and the way Lepore on the other like to work.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And part of the problem when you face a guy like Finnell is he throws a lot of strikes. Well, we're looking at coming into the inning, 53 pitches, 42 of those for strikes. Problem is he throws quality strikes. There's not a lot of pitches out over the middle plate, and so if you're patient as a hitter, you may be too patient at times with Finnell. You just got to get the best pitch you think you can put in play. He's just so good around the strike zone and rarely makes mistakes.
1-1 to Brady Dallimore. Running to 2-1. Vanderbilt team who had 7 draft picks a year ago. It's a called strike in there. Lost a couple of pitchers, 2 of their 3 weekend arms, yet have come right back, rebuilt, reloaded, and it all starts with this man. Just got a piece, 2-2.
Yeah, Vandy this season may not have some of the top line pitchers that they typically have. You know, the guys that have go the top 3 rounds, which Scott Brown has had plenty of those. But they have a really deep pitching staff. A lot of good arms.
That ball's pumped out to left. Looked like it just came in a little bit down the barrel, and that's not enough to get it out of here. Dallimore with a fly out to the edge of the track. Rigdon bringing it in.
And much better at bat for Dallimore, though. That's an improvement. He was just completely overpowered that first at bat. This time was a little bit more patient. Got a good pitch to drive. Just missed it out to left field.
See the way Finnell likes to work. I mean, the music isn't even done playing. Oh, what a snag! Riker, wait! Hat comes off, but he's got the ball in his glove, flashing the leather behind his pitcher.
Yeah, great first step. That ball was bolted. Looked like it was going to be in the left center field, possibly for extra bases. And what a play by Riker Waite at first stop. Perfectly timed, leaves his feet, makes the catch of the day.
We welcome you back. Shriners Children's College Showdown continues. 1-1 game. Great battle between Vanderbilt and TCU to the bottom of the fifth. We've been talking about all the opportunities to raise funds for Shriners. We're up over 30,000. And Colton, our latest Shriners ambassador, to join us right now. Thanks so much for doing this, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, no problem. It's good to see you guys. Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. A great start to this weekend's festivities here. Colton from the St. Louis area ambassador. And as a patient, you're from Western Kansas, Colton, so welcome. What's the experience been like for you so far here this weekend?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's just it's good to just see what the bunch of people can come together and put together an event to help out a bunch of children like myself, and just good to see how many people can come together just for a great game and just for a great cause.
Yeah, Colton, what's been your experience with Shriners?
Yeah, I started off just as a little boy. I was diagnosed with fibular hemorrhagia, and basically my dad had a cousin that referred us to Shriners, and that's where I needed to be seen, so that's where I was seen. And then they fitted my first prosthetic right after a year old, and from there they've just taken care of me and become a family to me. So
tremendous. We hear a lot of those great stories, and here's just another of many with Shriners. But tell us specifically now what's happened with you in your life, and how have you been able to make it through the issue that you've dealt with?
I think the greatest thing is God. I'm a big follower of God, and I think when times get tough or when I doubt myself, I just kind of turn to Him and let Him take the wheel, and it's just been a great thing. And also just all the support that Shriners provides for me, from the Shriners to the other patients to all the supporters back at the hospital. It's just, they help me a lot too.
Well, look at this. You come on with us, and 3 pitches in, we get a homer. How about that?
That's awesome.
Wow, Brody Johnston sends it out to the Vanderbilt bullpen. 402 feet, and the Commodores have a 2-1 lead.
Well, so you've talked about your faith and how important that is as we watch the replay of this home run. And Colton, tell us, how have you been able to use this as a platform for speaking to other kids at Shriners as well?
Yeah, I do a lot of ambassador stuff for the Shriners. I am the manager for the West team at the high school Shrine Bowl, and I just can never speak great enough about them, just how good of an organization they are.
It's awesome stuff. Here we're watching Braden Holcomb dig in. Colton with us right now from the this patient ambassador, St. Louis chapter from Kansas. So that you had the prosthetic, the surgery happened before you were even a year old though, right?
Yeah, actually it was a little bit after a year. I had my left leg amputated when I was a year and 19 days old.
Man. So I guess it's like on the one hand, you probably don't remember any of that because you were so little.
Yeah.
At the same time, what was that like then when, as you start to grow up and you're having to learn about all the different things you've got to do to adjust to it, to overcome being in a situation where you've had this since before you can even remember, right?
Yeah, and it really wasn't bad because I never learned to live with my legs. So the first time I ever learned to walk and to do everything I learned to do was with the legs. So it was a lot easier adjustment than some, but yeah, it was definitely still an adjustment.
Colton, you've overcome a lot, and tell us now. I mean, you're in school, you're competing in athletics, right?
Yeah, I play football, and then I also play golf.
Amazing. How do you play football?
Just like any other kid would, thanks to Shriners.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
2-2 here to Holcomb. It's a swing and a miss from Tommy Lepore. Okay, so you're 17. Is your golf is your handicap over or under your age? That's a big one.
Definitely over.
It's over. Okay. Well, I mean, you and Pat are probably in the same page.
Yeah, we could go play. Yeah. We'd have fun together.
In football, what positions do you play?
I'm the long snapper, so for PATs and punts, and then I play a little bit of defensive nose guard, and then I'm on the offensive line some.
Wow. The underrated position of long snapper.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. It's a oncoming position. There's starting to be more and more college scholarships for that position.
Oh, yeah.
We were the great John Dornbos, magician and long snapper for the Philadelphia Eagles. He kind of made that position popular. It's great stuff, Colton. Do you have a dream school you'd love to attend?
I don't know. My family's diehard KU.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No. Did you see them take down Arizona? That was pretty good.
that was a good basketball game. I watched some of that the other night. Yeah.
Colton, you've become my favorite Kansas Jayhawk as a Mizzou guy myself. It's I'm not going to give you any hard time. If you want to go there, we fully support you. You're a senior now in
I'm
a
junior.
Junior, okay.
Yep.
So you got a couple more years. Great stuff. Well, Kansas expected to have a really good team as well. Not in this particular field, but they're in the top 5 of the Big 12 preseason poll.
Well, Colton, what are you most excited about as it concerns your future?
I'd like to see where Shriners can take me. My grandma's always said that she thinks Shriners can take me to high places, and she thinks they'll always be able to take me to somewhere that'll do me good.
That's great.
We love it, man. Well, we can't thank you enough for coming here, being part of the weekend as well, making your debut on the broadcast. You got to see a home run. So
yeah, that was awesome.
It's pretty good, and best of luck. I look forward to hearing about A, the long snapping, B, the golf game, and then C, when you inevitably decide to choose Missouri over Kansas. All right?
Yeah, I don't know if that one will be happening. But
keep us posted. At least 2 of the 3.
That's right.
2 of the 3, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Rustin Rigdon here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
One of the things, Colton, you look at from a pitching standpoint, because I was one at one time, but you give up a home run, that happens, but then it's what happens after the home run.
Right.
The adversity, and can you recover quickly and get your head straight, get some outs.
It's a little tapper to short. Nice play made by Franco. Colton, thanks so much for doing this, man. Really appreciate you sharing your story and getting the chance to meet you.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks, guys.
We'll step aside. 2-1 lead for Vandy as we head to the 6th. you got to turn the sign the other way. But there are a lot of loud kids here in the building. I can at least interpret that. 3 home runs so far. The production coming solely on the long ball. And TCU presents a ton of power in the lineup. Chase Brunson, leader, coming back from last year with 12. Stoyer Stroh-Snyder has gone yard today for Kirk Sarlos's club. That pitching and the occasional long ball, Pat. That's really defined the game today.
Yeah, 3 solo homers. Don't see that very often, right, for accounting for all 3 runs. But Lucas Franco just missed one.
Boy.
Didn't miss that one.
Didn't miss that. Oh, another one goes downtown, and we're tied at 2. Welcome to college baseball, Lucas Franco.
Wow. Just missed one his first at bat. Hit it dead center. Missed it by a couple of feet. But he did not miss that one. That ball was up at least 15 rows here at Globe Life Field, and that was a no-doubter. First home run of Lucas Franco's collegiate career, probably the first of many. That ball was connected on.
Well, he barely missed a homer, Pat, his first time up. And we said, how insane would that be if in your first career AB you took a pitcher as great as Connor Finnell yard? Well, his second time up.
Yeah, and what a response, right?
What a slacker, right? He waited until his second. This kid's pretty special.
Tommy Lepore gives up the home run to Brody Johnston to start off the 5th, and Lucas Franco says, I can one-up you.
It's in there for a strike to Cole Kramer, top of the order. We said that both offenses had to take some chances with how dominant these pitchers are, and it just tells you, Pat, the sort of quality that the lineups have respectively. Because when they guess right, they have hit some balls a long way.
Yeah, that's it. Had a couple of mistake pitches. I mean, that was a mistake out over the middle of the plate that Finnell doesn't typically make, and when you get those, you just can't miss it. You're not going to get many of those from Finnell, so tip of the hat to TCU when they've gotten those pitches, and that time that front door breaking ball catches Kramer.
Locked him up. Backwards K, number 7 for Connor Finnell. Finnell at 71 pitches, a guy who was 3rd in the country in strikeout rate last year. I'll have the ball taken from him by Tim Corbin as he exits. Solid appearance to open up his 2026 campaign for Finnell. 5 1/3, 2 runs. The only blemish is the 2 solo homers as the Vandy bullpen begins its day. We'll get you set up with Jacob Schultz when we return. 2-2 game here in the top of the 6th. The Vanderbilt ace, Connor Finnell, his day is done. 71 pitches as he goes 5 1/3, allows 2 runs on 2 hits and makes way to this outstanding Vanderbilt bullpen. Jacob Schultz, an all-star on the Cape last summer, Pat, who struck out 23 in 15 1/3 innings. Outstanding curveball, and the lefty now comes in to face Sawyer Stroh-Snyder.
Yeah, it's really a plus curveball, and really his off-speed stuff. It's got a high whiff rate. He's a really great matchup arm out of that bullpen for Tim Corbin and Scott Brown. And seldom used last season, at only 5 2/3 innings. But really improved in his summer over the Cape, and as you mentioned, became a Cape Cod League All-Star. And this is a guy that looks like he's going to earn more playing time with Vanderbilt in that bullpen this season.
The junior pitching in his home state from Houston, Texas. It's the pitch comm all finished, and he's ready to go. Yeah, only 7th career appearance in his 3rd season, but he missed all of 2024 as a freshman with injury.
Yeah, fastball gets up into the upper 90s, and there's that big curveball for strike 1.
I have a feeling we will see quite a few pitchers try to work Stroh-Snyder backwards this year.
Right.
Give him 72, curve out of the gates.
Don't give in. That's the key. Well, Schultz comes from a very athletic family. His dad played football at Yale. Mom played volleyball at Baylor. Brother that played, and a sister that both ran track in college. So quite a gene pool.
Check swing, no offer. Anytime we can get a Baylor athletics mention in there too, it's always
snuck one in there.
I know it's a very good day for you if that is the case.
Snuck it in.
2-2 game in the top of the 6th. All 4 runs scored on solo homers.
Well, you like the move here by Tim Corbin, you know, playing some matchup baseball in the 6th inning, and it's usually a 6th and 7th that can be make or break innings for you. And you got a guy as talented as Schultz that you can throw up there against Stroh-Snyder and try to keep his bat under control for at least this at bat. That'd be a huge win.
Works the count to 3-2.
Stroh-Snyder has not seen a fastball and probably won't in this at bat.
A big shift on him, left side of that infield entirely open. Takes a called strike 3. What a pitch on 3-2 from Schultz.
Yeah, fastball had a little cut on it, upper 80s. Just paints the mitt, Colin Barczi, and how about that frame job? Gets the call, and Stroh-Snyder out on strikes. Looks like it was a little bit below the zone according to our pitch tracker, but that's a great frame job by Barczi.
Works inside to chase Brunson. This was the first offseason Brunson had fully healthy coming back for TCU. He had a back injury and missed all of the fall in 2024. Heading into 25, was still the 2nd team all Big 12 player a season ago after a great freshman campaign. And he's another guy, Pat, you think about where his prospects are coming into this year with a good season. He could easily play himself into the 1st round. And works the count in his favor. 3-0. Allen's in there, taking all the way. And there is some opportunity too. You think about a pitcher like a Schultz here sticking in the program, not transferring out, but understanding there are so many arms in front of you that you eventually will get your chance. Big old Bender finds the zone. Actually, the top draft pick was a lefty last year. J.D. Thompson went to the Brewers in round 2. That's what makes this Vanderbilt bullpen and pitching staff in general so special. They're able to keep their guys there, really trust that whole process, that they will get their chance and likely to be drafted if they stick around. Ooh, hot shot, watch out. Into the TCU dugout down there.
You see that that splint finger, that pitch that Schultz features. Looks like he tried to throw one there, left it up in the zone. And he got the big breaking ball, and he's got the split. That's how he sets his fingers before he comes to the mitt.
So 2-out walk to Chase Brunson keeps the inning alive. There just have not been a whole lot of ducks on the pond. Only 4 at-bats for TCU today with runners on in general. They get Noah Franco at the dish. Oh, they got the man picked off, though. He will not even get a chance. They gun down Brunson at second base. Good throw from Jensen over there. Waite applies the tag. TCU does tie the game, though. Lucas Franco with a mammoth 412-foot bomb to tie us at 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Day 1 of this 2026 Shriners Children's College Showdown continues right after this. Two game, a great battle between TCU and Vanderbilt as we head to the home half of the 6th from Globe Life Field in Arlington. Ben Wilson back with him with Pat Combs, and Andrew Kashner joins us in the booth right now, former Horned Frog pitcher. I like got the polo going. You got the kids here at the ballpark in the front row rocking it out. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's great to have you along here. Opening day, college baseball season. It's been a great home, sort of a second home for your alma mater, really, since Globe Life opened. It's got to be cool to kind of stay in touch with the program, I'm sure.
No doubt. I just wish I got to play here. This is a pretty sweet stadium.
So you retired to see what, 2019?
2020.
2020?
Yeah,
so,
2019 would be my last season.
You should have just stuck around one more. Maybe could have got to play in Globe
I wish.
What's the experience like being in this park? What do you make of it?
Man, it's I mean, the turf looks so real. I mean, just the size of the stadium, the air conditioning more than anything.
Yeah. That's a plus.
No doubt.
And we're enjoying a good battle today, and it's a new pitcher for TCU, Tanner Seguspie, coming in. 2-2 in the bottom of the 6th. You know, it's one thing, like we talk with guys like Pat, who played in the late 80s, MLB into the late 80s, early 90s. It's obviously how the game has changed is so stark. I'm even fascinated, though, from your perspective. It's only been, say 10, 15 years, but how you look at how the college game has changed since you were playing ball in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the game in general. It's changed. I kind of saw the launch angle and the, kind of all that evolution of the game as I was kind of coming out. And now, I mean, you see the catchers wearing the earpieces and, just the stealing signs has kind of gone away as far as, you know, the strategy of having guys looking there trying to steal signs and different stuff. But you got to embrace it. I mean, it's just part of where the game's going and where the money's going.
Yeah. Andrew, what do you remember most about your TCU career?
Probably my favorite was, you know, we played the Dairy Queen Classic in 2008 in Minnesota. It's probably one of the hottest games I've ever played in.
Wow.
We had, it was like 12 inches of snow on the roof, and they were trying to melt it, so they had the heat on in the dome. So it was a warm one in Minnesota.
That's a crazy story. Yeah.
Well, you might not have been able to play at Globe Life, but you got to play in the Metrodome, one of the wildest, kind of weirdest MLB venues we've ever had. And
yeah, it had the whole white roof, and you know, as you would probably know, the stairs coming down to the dugout, I think it was 15 flights.
Oh yeah,
like
it's crazy.
Know, like 8 flights or 8 stairs per flight, I think. But yeah, that was a cool stadium. That was really my first time in a major league stadium, and it was pretty neat.
Andrew Kashner, former TCU Horned Frog, longtime big league vet with us in the booth right now. 0-2 count here to Riker Wade. See, I look at a career like yours, as great as these modern parks are now. I mean, you got to play at Wrigley, experience the cramped quarters, to play at Fenway. I mean, you really got kind of the great tour of some of the great parks in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, those were pretty special. Got to see Boston, you know, after they, you know, fixed it up. Wrigley, I was there before they got to do that one. But you talk about 2 historic parks and historic fan bases. It was special for sure. But playing in San Diego, 60 and sunny every day, was pretty nice too.
Hard to be. You weren't complaining, were you?
No. It was always the running joke. Everybody always asked where our tarp was, and I was like, we don't
have one.
Yeah,
don't need one.
Great.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, take us post-career now. What are you up to these days?
Lived part of the year down in South Texas, and lived part of the year. I got a farm in Missouri, and started doing some farming, and live up there. A little slower pace of life, and kind of let the kids see that, but still enjoy. We come back to Dallas quite a bit. My wife's family's all here, and still spend a lot of time down in South Texas.
That's great. Imagine you might do a little hunting down there. Is that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, a lot of hunting and a little bit of fishing.
A little bit of fishing.
Just depends on what the season is.
Nice.
Good pitch here. We got a pitcher in the booth with us, only fitting. Tanner Seguspie coming out, Cal Poly transfer, and in his TCU debut, couple of Ks, gets a backwards punch out of Riker Waits. Do you still have the Pitching for the Cause Foundation going?
We still have it. We have paused it just because, you know, I've got 3 kids. Let's see. One just turned 6, so 6, 4, and almost 2.
Understandable.
And,
slightly busy. Yeah.
It very.
But it was a great cause, though. When you launched it, it was cool
great. I mean, we did a ton of good in the Texas area, donating money, different areas. The foundation it was a huge commitment as far as time. And I would imagine when the kids get a little over, I would probably get it back going again. And you know, just give back. Very blessed for sure, and you know, it's a cause I'm very passionate about. So we'll see kind of down the road where life takes you, and would love to get it back going again though.
Well, Andrew, I know what you know. You were a pretty good chunker when you threw the ball pretty hard, but I look up and down these scouting reports like Seguspie throwing mid-90s. He's like 6 foot nothing, right? It's like. What's up with all the velo these days, man? Everybody throws mid-90s now.
I know. You work with some guys in Southeast Missouri a little bit, and they always ask, how do you throw harder? And I, you know, try and tell them long toss, but it's every kid throws 94, 96.
That one 94, but it's sent the other way. And Logan Johnstone has a 2-out double here for Vanderbilt. They keep the inning alive in a 2-2 game.
I would just say, though, that it's a lot more education on the arm.
Yeah, arm care.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah, training prehab is what I call it. You know, preventing injuries. You know, just the physical therapist now that, you know, there's some really good ones out there. And you know, Regan Wong with the Rangers is, I mean, he's incredible. But just learning how to take care of your arm, how to take care of your body. I mean, it's there's definitely more velo in there, and guys are figuring out how to get the most out of each, out of their body.
And he's Andrew Kashner with us in the booth right now. Good battle back and forth here. Vandy and TCU 2-2 game, and it's Carter Johnstone now, brother of Logan. Top of the order with a half swing and a miss. I'm sure the one thing, though, you can kind of hang over these guys, especially the younger pitchers' heads, is the fact that you got the hit, at least in one league. Now you don't, and you have a major league home run in your ledger.
It is probably my greatest accomplishment, to be honest.
That's awesome.
Because every pitcher loves to hit, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And every pitcher thinks that they can hit. I just got lucky that one day. I mean, so glad I get to take that to the bank with me. But
was it in Arizona?
It was.
Yeah.
Josh Colemanter. I think it was my third at bat, maybe second at bat. I think he K'd me the first time.
You think he K'd yours?
Yeah,
was like a 95%
I don't remember.
Chance. Yeah, probably did. But
I would say it's 50-50 on whether I struck out or not.
I had one, but it was in the minor leagues, so it didn't really count. But I hit it in Ottawa, which is like had to go north of the border.
Yeah, I think that counts.
That counts.
I think if you're north of the border, you kind of elevate it one level above, so it should count.
Yeah, I felt really bad the next day though, because the guy hit off of got released. I'm like, oh no, that stinks.
Off of a pitcher.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you, the worst feeling is giving up one to a pitcher.
That's right.
I've done that too.
Oh boy. Well, you've lived both sides of it, Andrew. Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck with everything with your foundation going forward. Can't thank you enough.
No doubt. Appreciate you having me, guys. Thank you.
We'll step aside. 2-2 game as we head to the 7th. Two game between Vanderbilt and TCU. A couple of top 25 teams going at it. We'll have another top 25 team in action in our nightcap. Arkansas, 7th in the preseason poll, taking on Oklahoma State. Was down getting breakfast at the hotel this morning, Pat. Full of Hog fans gearing up to do the Hog calls. A lot of them have been here since game 1 today. They just love baseball.
They have.
Expect a lot of Oklahoma State fans as well. That is a huge weekend for them with Bedlam tomorrow.
That'll be fun. And the Arkansas fans travel so well, and getting out of that cold, wintry ice mix we had about a week and a half ago, and I'm sure they are glad to be here in Arlington, Texas. An 80-degree day today, and what a weekend for baseball.
We start the 7th inning. Big wave and a miss. Noah Franco down on 3 pitches. As Schultz is back out there, he cleaned up the end of the 6th.
Yeah, Franco pulling off that pitch, opened up that front half, and the breaking pitch down and away, and was not guessing right on that one. Good off-speed deliveries from Schultz, and he'll exit, but job well done.
He went to Falmouth on the Cape last year, was an all-star, and that is carried over his first appearance, a good one, as he strikes out 2 in an inning of work. New pitcher coming in for Vanderbilt. Anybody's game here in the top of the 7th, all knotted up at 2. One down in the top of the 7th, a 2-2 game. More action out of the Vanderbilt bullpen. It is Luke Guth who had an incredible season. Pat, a sparkling 0.93 ERA last year. He enters the fray for Tim Corbin here in the 7th.
Yeah, outstanding as well. I mean, he only gave up 9 hits all season. A batting average against of 141, but the fastball is nice. It sits low 90s. He'll clock it up to the mid 90s, but the cutter and the spin stand out in his delivery. He really has great control of his secondary pitches. It's just a really difficult guy to square up. Does not make a lot of mistakes.
And the righty fires into Rob Liddington Jr. Just misses. How about a 141 batting average against last year for Luke Guth? Only 9 hits allowed on the season.
Yeah, outstanding. He made 19 appearances for Vandy and only gave up runs in 2 of those.
Big wave and a miss. Now, what's interesting about Guth is that the fastball has a variety of ranges to it. He can be a guy who just tops out at 90, but can play with deception, movement. This one's hit hard to the left side. Diving stop by Wake, can only knock the ball down. It's an infield single for Liddington. That time he went curveball, and Liddington was able to stay on it.
Yeah, nice job by Liddington to stay back and let that ball travel. Barrels it up. It's a hard, sharp ground ball. 101 on the exit velo, and Riker Wade did a nice job just knocking it down and holding Liddington to a single.
Nolan Traeger watches another curve find the zone. Traeger, TCU's offensive MVP during fall ball. Part of that big time recruiting class coming in last year, top 10 in the country. And you watch Traeger a season ago, Pat, we certainly sat up here feeling like this guy does not look at all like a freshman, the way he handled the game behind the plate.
That's right. Yeah, he's a really good defensive catcher, but adding some tools offensively as well.
Just blasts it right at the center fielder. Holcomb able to range to his left and make the catch. Couple of hard hit balls here off the bat of Guth, or off the entrance of Guth, but after the single, it's an out, and there are 2 down in this top half of the 7th. Brady Dallimore searching for a first hit in his third trip. Not a bad move over there.
Yeah, really close.
You talk about the 141 batting average against. Part of this Vanderbilt staff, they were so good in that area all year. 219 as a team, opponents' batting average against them. That tied for the best mark in the SEC as this one finds the zone 0-1.
Joe Harris has had a low strike zone tonight, and there's been a number of pitches below the pitch box, but he's been consistent with that call, and both sides are getting that pitch.
See Guth step off. Liddington over there at first. A TCU team that in seasons past had been absolutely blazing on the base pass. They didn't steal as much last year with all the power they had. A healthy hack is fouled off. To Dallimore here in a 2-2 game, top of the 7th. Able to spoil this one foul. Coming back, Pat. This is his second year back now as the main offensive coach. His second stint after going to Ohio State for a couple seasons as the head coach. And to come back in your first year, you're working with one of the best freshman classes you've probably ever had at TCU. Great recruiter, and you know, he and Kirk have both done a great job in that department. But yeah, Mosey, one of the well thought of hitting coaches in college baseball, and of course spent 2 years as the Ohio State head coach. But he wanted to get back to the South, and Kirk Saarloos says, man, if you ever want to come back and put the purple on, we've got a spot for you. And he took him up on it. Hammered foul. So Dallimore stays alive, 0-2. You know, John Delory over there, he's a great recruiting coordinator for the Frogs. Coaches catchers and outfield, first base coach as well. Dave Lawn, longtime pitching coach. Blister to the left side, handled by Waits as he goes the easy way to Johnstone. Luke Guth with the final 2 outs of the 7th inning. Stretch time here at Globe Life Field, all knotted up at 2. Two-2 game to the bottom of the 7th. All 4 runs coming via the solo homer. We have not wasted any time, Pat, this 2026 season getting things started with the long ball. And it began early in this one. Sawyer Stroh-Snyder starting things off with a solo bomb in the first. Colin Barczi hit a 452-foot blast. It is hard to envision another homer hit further than that one, right?
That was just an absolute nuke. And then we saw another nuke by Lucas Franco for the Horned Frogs in the 6th inning. And Brody Johnston hit a bomb as well. None of those home runs were cheap. They were all struck extremely well.
And hard to get any cheapies here at Globe Life Field unless you just go straight down the lines. But gaps are deep. And yet with two extremely talented Friday night starters, Tommy Laporte was good for TCU, 2 earned across 5 innings. Same could be said for Vandy's starter, Connor Finnell. He went 5 1/3, also just the 2 runs allowed. Those guys did give up the 2 long balls apiece. And now it's a bullpen game as we head to the home half of the 7th. High drive. Colin Barczi, he has done it again. And Vanderbilt is back on top. What a day for the Vandy catcher. 2 upper tank shots.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 430 feet on that one. Exit velo of 111. And how about that for Colin Barczi? Every run today accounted for by a home run, and that was another no-doubter. Second deck here at Globe Life Field, and he turned that pitch around quickly.
Wow. That was my reaction after the first one.
Oh, man.
I feel the same way after the second. Colin Barczi. Goodness.
Yeah, that ball has a dent in it, that's for sure.
Brody Johnston now, and Vanderbilt, they reclaim the lead 3-2. And a tapper foul. So Seguspie was so good making his debut in that first inning, transfer from Cal Poly. But that has been the theme all night tonight, even with good pitchers out there. You got to hit your spots or else you will pay the price. That spot hit perfectly by Seguspie as he bounces back with a backwards K.
Yeah, goes up in it with the fastball there and spots it. Traeger with the frame and gets the call on Brody Johnston. Good bounce back after giving up the go-ahead bomb to Barczi. And we've seen a lot of baseball games. When's the last time you've seen 5 runs scored? Now we're at the 7th inning, and every run has been accounted for by a home run. I can't remember.
I'm digging through the memory bank. I'm not coming up with anything.
Coming up empty, huh?
Called strike taken to Braden Holcomb. Well, Barczi had only hit 10 homers in his career at Vanderbilt. Across 270 at-bats, he has hit 2 in 4 today. Off one hop, right to Jack Bell. Good throw across the diamond to retire Holcomb. So Vandy the 3-2 lead now. Second time they have led. They were up 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Now 3-2 here in the 7th. And it is Mac Whitcomb, the DH role, making his debut for Vanderbilt. Did have to replace 4 starting hitters from their lineup a season ago. There were some valuable pieces like an R.J. Austin, who was on the SEC All-Defensive team as a utility guy, went 3rd round to Baltimore. Whitcomb is now replaced. We do have a pinch hitter here in Tommy Gooden who steps in. So Whitcomb was in that DH role. It's Gooden, a second-year freshman. Went to the California Collegiate League last summer and had a great campaign there. Just catches apiece. So Seguspie pitched to Cal Poly. Gooden from Thousand Oaks in the LA area. Fastballs just upstairs, 1-2. That question is, Pat, 3-2 for Vanderbilt. A lot of great bullpen arms in the back end. Will the 1 run be enough here? That 1-run lead.
Yeah.
Wave and a miss. There's a strikeout as Seguspie goes changeup, but Colin Barczi's massive day continues. He went 452 to left center. Back in the third, he goes 430 down the line. Another one to the upper deck here at Globe Life Field, and Vanderbilt's on top 3-2. Crunch time here in Arlington. 3-2 lead for Vanderbilt going to the 8th inning. As the bottom of the order due up against the talented righty out of the pen. Luke Guthrie got the final 2 outs of the 7th. 5 runs, all via the solo homer. Do we have another twist and turn still to come here as it's 8-9-1 for TCU, including Lucas Franco, who hit a blast his last time up in the 6th.
Well, a little AI search for you, Ben, and ChatGPT says it can't find anything in modern baseball Division I history that 5 home runs, all been solo, have ever been struck in a game. So a little historical.
ChatGPT says it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take its word for it.
You know, the record for most Major League Baseball, the most runs scored solely on solo homers. It's happened twice in MLB history where 2 teams have had 6 runs, all via solo homers. But that obviously is just 1 team.
Yeah, 1 team.
I'm talking combined here, as it's a 5-run combined game today, all 5 on the solo homer. Big wave and a miss. Bell over the top of a curveball, and it is 5 outs still to get here for Vanderbilt as they are in search of a 1-0 start to 2026.
We did see the anomaly last year was Kansas that hit the 5 consecutive home runs against Minnesota. That was quite a feat. 5 in a row. Thinking in the back in time, after about the 3rd one, the 4th guy wouldn't have been able to hit a home run. He would have been plunked and set to first base.
Yep.
There was a time, Ben.
There was a time. We remember the time. At least you do. It's Lucas Franco here is up.
Got to loosen him up a little bit.
Yeah, of course. be awfully careful here to Franco, as it's 3-0. A guy who didn't play at all in the fall, at least most of it. He had hip surgery over the summer, but coming in preseason Big 12 freshman of the year, and he has looked every bit the part.
Yeah, he is uber talented for sure, and a guy that has a chance to play at the next level. And he's got that tall build. You can just kind of project him next couple of years filling out, hitting that weight room, and he's already got a ton of pop. But as we saw back in the 6th inning,
it's jammed a little bit. This ball slicing hard, and it gets down all the way to the wall past Holcomb. He's headed for third. Throw is not in time. And TCU is the tying run 90 feet away.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty innocent possible single. And Braden Holcomb came charging in, thinking he had a play on that ball. Kind of hung up in the air for a time, but you could see it slicing away from the center fielder. He just misplayed it, just took a bad angle to it. Turned what possibly was a single, maybe a double, into a triple. As that ball gets back into Brody Johnston. And sliding Franco well in front of it. And I'm going to bring a visit by Scott Brown out to talk to Luke Guth. Yeah, this looks to be more of a strategy meeting. Nobody up and throwing in that Vanderbilt bullpen. Well, they do have a right-hander that is starting to throw.
Well, surprising as it is to see a team as sound defensively as Vanderbilt give up a play like that, especially when you're in kind of a no-double situation here.
Yeah.
It does
late in the
speak
game
to,
with a 1-run lead.
yeah,
Absolutely.
It does speak, though, to the challenges at this ballpark, which Tim Corbin told us. He's like, it's the Grand Canyon to me.
Yeah.
And he thought it would benefit his team well with the way they generally play. Great pitching and defense. You see how cavernous those alleys are, but it doesn't matter how good you are, especially at the college level. First weekend of the season, not a ton of familiarity, especially for the current Vanderbilt players, unlike TCU, and that can happen to even the best defensive team.
Yeah, it's a lot of ground to cover, and you're right. It's especially in unfamiliar territory. These teams, you know, obviously TCU's had more experience here, but yeah, Vandy hasn't been here in a few years, so there's a swing, maybe.
Yep. They say Cole Kramer did offer as the infield comes in.
And Vanderbilt trying to protect that 1-run lead, and Kramer trying to shoot one through the infield.
Hard shot to left center. We are tied. Kramer digging for two, and he's in there. The first non-home run of the day.
Well, they had to ruin the streak, but TCU will take that. They'll take the tie ball game instead. Nice at bat by Kramer. Was able to extend his arms and shoot that line drive through the infield. And just like that, Lucas Franco with his second run scored of the game ties it right back up.
And Sawyer Stroh-Snyder will get a free pass. They send him down to first.
Yeah, good decision. First base open. Why take the chance? You get the righty-righty matchup here with Brunson.
A strikeout, a ground out, and a walk for Chase Brunson. That gets past the catcher, Barczi. And it's second and third in a tie game, still just one out.
And that ball just deflected off the side of his chest protector, and really nothing Barczi could do. That spin, of course, well in front of the plate. Tried to square that chest up, but just couldn't quite get to it.
Tim Corbin's going to stop play here.
That might be it for Guth. And you walk Strohsnyder, put yourself in a double play position, and then one pitch later, now you've got the tying run, or the winning run, just 30 feet away, or 90 feet away, and so that'll be it for Guth.
It all started with that misplay out in center. Franco ended up on third. Game-tying double from Cole Kramer, and now the Horned Frogs have second and third in a tie game, just one out, with Chase Brunson at the plate. Luke Guth coming out. We'll set you up on the new pitcher when we return. Three-3 game here in the top of the 8th. TCU at the plate, and England Bryan walks right into a mega jam. Second and third, one out as Luke Guth comes out. And England Bryan is in. It's a guy who struck out a ton last year in his debut season. 25 punch-outs in 13 innings. He also walked almost a batter an inning. Well, it throws very hard. We'll see this fastball up to 98, Pat.
Yeah, it's real. It's a power arm, and that's been the issue, is this the command, but there's no doubt he's got a high strikeout rate as well, 37%. But that 18% walk ratio, that's what can catch him sometimes. But there's no doubt the fastball up to 98 miles an hour, and he's got a power slider that sits 89 and 90.
That pitch found the zone. He entered in a 1-0 count. And it is 2-1. I'm sure one of those situations for Vanderbilt, walk isn't the worst thing right here. So it's not a bad idea to bring in a guy with the upside of a strikeout, but who can also be a little wild.
Yeah, the only issue, you've got Noah Franco on deck, so that's the left-hander power bat for the Frogs. I think you try to go after Brunson here. Of course, you don't want to give in with a 3-1 count. You do set the double play if he does indeed walk.
High pop-up. Johnstone comes in, makes the catch in fair territory. They fake the tag of the runner. Both guys went about halfway up the line. But on 3-1, Brunson can only put it into shallow right field. A massive second out.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, that was a situation with Brunson with a 3-1 count, advantage count. You got to get something you can get at least to mid outfield, give your guy a chance at third base. And Cole Kramer, who's got some great wheels, but yeah, that ball was just not nearly deep enough.
This is the dream situation out for England Bryan. You still have first base open, and you can go ahead and attack Noah Franco.
Yeah, this might be one of those situations, if Bryan gets ahead of him, they pitch to him. If not, you've got Liddington behind him. It's a better matchup from the right-hander England Bryan.
High pop up again. This one toward the seats and will get out of play. So 1-1 to Noah. No relation to Lucas, who we've talked a lot about today. But Noah's back. You see the numbers from last year. It was a massive campaign as a freshman. Got an invite to the USA Baseball Collegiate National Team, a first-team freshman All-American.
And if you're Franco, you got to get that ball a little bit down in the zone. It's a high spin right fastball. Up in the zone, he tends to get a lot of pop-ups.
Healthy hack fouled off.
Backdoor cutter that time, and Noah Franco swings over the top.
The number 99 for Vanderbilt, England Bryant. A 3-3 game. It's TCU batting here in the top of the 8th. Runners on second and third. The 1-2. Goes a little sink on that fastball. Does not chase, and it's 2-2.
He spun that one a little bit. That was that cut fastball slider. So he goes back up in the zone with the fastball.
Talked about it, Pat. High spin rate, higher chance of getting the pop-ups here. And Franco has had a lot of aggressive hacks so far. He's already struck out twice in this game. Does not get cheated up there, though.
Yeah, he doesn't get cheated. Yeah. Now that's where England Bryant can be most effective, up in that zone with the fastball and trying to get some chases down with the slider.
Got him. What a job by England Bryant. Oh, and they throw it away. No way. A massive blunder by Vanderbilt. They throw it away on the toss down to first, and TCU somehow takes the lead.
Wow. That was just a tough play. Yeah, Barczi did a good job of keeping the ball out in front and then just made an errant throw. Yeah, let's see where he places himself here. Yeah, he gets well inside the line, but he just kind of lobbed it. Yeah, didn't throw it. And would have pulled Jensen off the bag had he been able to corral it anyway. But, man, he just did not make a good throw to first base. Looked like he really tried to aim it. Now, I think Tim Corbin is saying, hey, did he give my guy a chance to make the throw here? Was he inside the runner's box? And I think Corbin's going to challenge it. First base umpire Mike Morris did not make any kind of signal like Noah Franco was out of that runner's lane.
It's sort of a Hail Mary challenge if there is one for Tim Corbin, because it's not like the runner had anything to do with that throw.
No, but you got to give the catcher the line, so we'll see. But you can see Barczi step into the grass there to make the throw and had plenty of room, and it was just a bad toss. He tried to take something off of it. You know, let's take a look at the replay. Was Franco outside the line? It looks like he was stepped inside of it briefly. Yeah, he's got to stay in that runner's box. He's got to give catcher the line there. So, boy, that's going to be interesting.
By the letter of the law, I mean, there is a stretch there where he's clearly on the outside, the field side of that line.
Right.
And then it's almost like as he sees the ball toward first, he, at the last second, steps inside it.
He did, yeah. And it was just about the time Barczi was making the throw. And I don't know if that was a distraction for him or not, but yeah.
Well, TCU, they score both runners from third. Kramer crosses, Stroh-Snyder from second. Just a shocking missed throw on what should have been an easy final out of the inning.
Yep.
Call on the field is confirmed, and the TCU lead is 2. One of the best fielding teams in the country last season, Vanderbilt, make a stunning error here in the top of the 8th.
Well, you hate for that to be a deciding factor in what has been a really terrific game, but yeah, TCU now taking the 5-3 lead. As a 3-base throwing error by the catcher Barczi, and of course 2 outs in the inning, so both runners are running full speed as soon as that strikeout was recorded against Franco, but the play not completed on the catcher to first throw.
Now Rob Liddington steps in. Where is England Bryan's head at after he did such a good job to get the pop out with 1 out and runners on second and third, gets the strikeout, did his job. Wave and a miss.
Yeah, you got to have a quick mental reset. As a pitcher in this situation, you kind of relax, thinking, all right, did my job, get out of the inning, and I'm heading to the bench. All of a sudden, nope, got to tow it back up and keep this lead at 2.
Got him, called strike 3, but the damage is done. Colin Barczi with a costly 2-run throwing error and what should have ended the inning. Now it's TCU, a 2-run lead in the 8th. Five-3 lead for TCU to the home half of the 8th. This is why, Pat, and a catcher who had a .996 fielding percentage last year just made probably the worst throw of his life on a drop third strike.
No doubt. Very uncharacteristic of Colin Barczi. And look, he's been terrific the entire game. Hit the 2 home runs for Vanderbilt. And that throw, you just kind of wonder at that moment in the game what's going through your head when you just kind of lob the throw. Or were you distracted? Did you just try to aim it? We won't know for sure, but you can see there Noah Franco on the strikeout took a little bit of a jab step inside the line, but the throw had already been made. And I think that's why the umpires did not rule obstruction in that particular case. So unfortunate. Look, it's one of those things you got to quickly turn your head back into some form of positivity and get back on track, because you can't let that determine the next outcome.
Now it's the bottom of the order, 6, 7, and 8 for Vanderbilt, down to their last 6 outs. Nate Stern, the new pitcher for TCU. Stern with a wave and a miss, quickly ahead 0-2, and he had a team best 1.35 ERA, a really good freshman campaign. Maybe not the most heralded of that top 10 freshman recruiting class that Kirk Sarlos brought in last year, but had a really awesome start. And here he gets a 3-pitch backwards K on Rigdon to start his outing.
Yeah, great stuff by Stern. Good start for him. And provided some great bullpen stability last year for the Horned Frogs, and one of those guys that could be a midweek starter. He could provide long relief. In this situation, kind of the back end of the bullpen, so you can already see the progress he's been making with the quality of his stuff, that Kirk Saarloos is now trusting him in this situation.
Ball outside, and it's 2-0. Max Jensen 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And a dangerous part of this Vanderbilt lineup, it really starts with Johnstone, Logan that is, at the 9 hole. And he turn it over, his brother Carter, really solid player transferring in from Cal State Fullerton. That's where the dangerous part of the lineup starts. Jensen has worked a 3-0 count and will get a free pass here on 4 pitches. So still a long way to go here, Pat. We have gotten very used to over the years being here. Understanding no matter how good the bullpens are or how heralded the defense is, there is still so much that can change in the late innings.
There's no doubt. It is not over till it's over, especially opening weekend. So many things can happen.
Riker Waite, chance to make an impression. Second-year freshman, first year in the starting lineup, takes a call to strike. Down in the dirt, solid block here from Traeger. Overall, feels like a mixed bag for Vanderbilt if you're looking at it from Jason Esposito's perspective. First game is the new hitting coach for Tim Corbin. You have the 3 solo homers, a lot of deep counts, just haven't been able to string a lot together today as Rate fouls it off. And it's a 1-1 count.
That's a great point, Ben. You know, 3 out of the 7 hits are home runs. And you're right, it's really coming up with that big 2-out hit. They've had a number of situations with runners left on and had some opportunities, especially earlier in the game. Back in that second, third inning when Tommy Lepore had to work out of some trouble, and they were just one big hit away from scoring a few more runs.
That last pitch was 1-2. Now even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Vanderbilt, to your point, 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, 1 for 12 with runners on. And it's a called strike 3 right at the top of the zone for Nate Stern, a second strikeout looking in this inning.
Yeah, that mid-90s fastball just catches the upper part of the zone, and he flashed some of that last season. Had that 1.35 earned run average, 29 strikeouts over 20 innings, and now a couple of backward Ks already to start the 26 campaign from Nate Stern.
Was a tad high, gets the call anyway. Logan Johnstone, healthy wave and a miss.
It's been a generous zone for this game. It's kind of one of those umpires, Joe Harris, you love to have him on getaway day. Typically have a little bit lower scoring games.
Foul tip held on to by Traeger. Were it not for that error we had in the last inning, we'd be sitting here, 3-3 ball game, nip and tuck. But now TCU has the edge, 5-3.
Yeah, Stern got a warning for coming set too quickly. He likes to work fast.
They say he has a super steady heartbeat out there. Just missed. He was on his way back to the dugout.
Yeah, his best fastball of the day, 97, just below the knees.
That one runs a touch inside. TCU, they lost so many arms last year that they really had to dig deep, find arms like Stern. Pressed into service a season ago, and they feel like, as this count runs to 3-2, coach's perspective on that, Pat, is that should play massive dividends now to 2026, having those guys thrown into the fire the way that they were.
Yeah, that always helps. You know, the experience is such a big factor at this level.
A 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got the fastball past Johnstone. And Nate Stern strikes out the side as we head to the 9th inning. TCU remains on top, 5-3 with 3 outs to get. Opening day 2026, good battle between TCU and Vanderbilt from Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. 6th year we've had college baseball in this ballpark. You've been here, Pat, since the very first one.
I have.
We've been here 5 years together now, and what a place this is to watch baseball.
Man, incredible. Yeah, it's expected rain tomorrow. Of course, the roof is closed today. It'll be closed probably throughout the weekend, but yeah, this is an incredible ballpark, great facility, opened up in 2020. And of course, Rangers making some history here over the course of their time in this ballpark. But it is a beautiful spot to play, and the coaches love it because they know they're guaranteed to get all their games in.
It's pounded to the right side, but a leaping snag made by Logan Johnstone out there. Bowed out off the bat of Nolan Traeger. Well, the folks here at Rev Entertainment, Globe Life Field, and the Rangers, they've gotten so used to the accommodations that now it's really not a big deal. When teams, let's say they've got inclement weather forecasted, say on a Monday, like Oklahoma said, hey, can we just host New Mexico State here instead on Monday? And they go, yeah, sure, you got it. And
that's right.
It's been a great unheralded part of this.
Yeah.
Kind of goes under the radar, some of the other events that are able to take place here, just because of how many repetitions we've had and how many teams are comfortable coming here.
Well, that's what you get with a group that's a great partner like Rev Entertainment. You know, they understand the importance of college baseball, and they've provided a great environment, but they've also been what you said, very flexible for teams to try to get games in when there's inclement weather. TCU's done that a number of times. Oklahoma, other schools have come in to use the facility.
3-pitch strikeout of Brady Dallimore. 2 up, 2 down for England Bryant, who has looked really good, Pat. He's just on the wrong side of an error in the field that cost his team 2 runs.
Now he has. He's flashing that upper 90s fastball and a good slider. That's a pitch that has improved. The command of that pitch has been key for him, and you can see what he's been able to do in terms of just increasing the production with that particular pitch.
Trying to give Vandy a chance, only down the 2 runs headed to the home half of the ninth. They will have the top of the order due up.
Yeah, England Bryant has a chance to be the closer for Vanderbilt. Certainly has the arm for it. The question's always been just his growth and maturity and Getting that the mental part of the game is so key, especially when you come in tight situations to close games.
He's banged back up the middle, got too much of the plate there on 0-2, and Jack Bell on his 4th trip has his first hit of the season.
Yeah, he wanted that pitch down, and it kind of hung up in the middle of the zone there, and Bell was able to turn it around.
New England Brian was hoping to not have to face this guy. Lucas Franco, a near homer, then an actual homer, then a triple.
Yeah, he has pounded the baseball tonight. Yeah, that first one just barely missed, a couple of feet. Otherwise, he'd have 2 home runs and a triple. What a collegiate debut for Lucas Franco.
Throw over to first on a dive back by Jack Bell. I don't think it's hyperbolic to say, if you told me Lucas Franco was just a preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, I would have said, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now he's the preseason Big 12 Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, there you go.
But seriously, watching him, you'd go, yeah, it would not stun me at all. That was the sort of level you put him at.
Yeah. The talent has always been there. That's never been a question for Lucas Franco. In fact, I think could have been a possible Major League draft pick last season. There's been a growth in his maturity, and Kirk Saarloos confirmed that. He said, we knew we could get him on campus, help him really, just make great decisions and become a great team player and really learn how to focus in. And that's you're seeing the production of that. That there's just some guys that even with the talent, they're way better off going to college and just mature. Let your body mature, let your mind mature, and I think you're seeing that. The talent, there's been no doubt this guy is a potential major leaguer if he can put it all together.
Fastball misses upstairs, 2-1 to Franco. And the gem of a recruiting class now that will certainly not get the sort of hype that last year's did. It's almost impossible too because of how 2025 brought in the top 10 recruiting class. Hard shot to the left side. This one forces an awkward angle from Rigdon, but he is able to track it down and make the catch. They do retire Franco as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for Vanderbilt, down by 2. Last ups for Vanderbilt in the home half of the 9th. TCU have gotten outstanding pitching. It started, Pat, with Tommy Lepore.
Yeah, just great command. And, of course, everything you expect from Tommy Lepore, the Friday night starter for TCU. And he had 5 Ks, and then Tanner Seguspie came in and struck out 4. And then Nate Stern has added to that total. A couple of strikeouts for him. 11 total tonight for the Horned Frogs. And everything you pretty much expected from this pitching staff, starting with the starter, Tommy Lepore.
Now can Nate Stern finish the job? Look for a 6-out save. As good as he was last year, mentioned the team-leading 1.35 ERA, and did not give up an earned run last year in his final 9 appearances. Did not have a save at the same time.
Well, you're seeing a much different pitcher in Nate Stern than when he arrived at TCU. The velocity's ticked up. The breaking stuff has gotten better, sharper. And Now he's got a much better command of that strike zone, and this is a guy that you're kind of hopeful when you see it when he first arrives on campus, and now he's playing into that vision.
Has to do it against the top of the order. Falls behind 2-1 to Carter Johnstone. 0 for 4. Put the ball in play all 4 times. Has not been able to get a hit though in his Vanderbilt debut, transferring from Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, he's a catalyst that makes this offense go, and got to keep that guy off base if you're TCU, and if you're Vanderbilt, you get him on, and that could be the start of something special. He can create some havoc on the base paths.
2-2 here in the bottom of the 9th. He got him. 95 with a fastball for Nate Stern. 4 punch outs, 3 via the backwards K.
Yeah, just perfectly spotted. You saw Nolan Traeger, the catcher, sit up outside and just paints the mid. 95 at the kneecaps, down and away. Just a well-placed pitch from Nate Stern, out number 1.
Colin Barczi, a mega hack. It's got to be a good feeling for Nate Stern to have Barczi up, unable to tie the game here with his 2 mammoth home runs already.
Yeah, huge first out to face him with nobody on him. That's the pitch. You want that pitch up and in. Try to get his hands from getting extended. Try to spot the breaking pitches down and away, and it's going to be the approach that Stern takes with Barczi.
And he is swinging towards Denton. Pat trying to get one back. And you do have to feel for Barczi. I mean, it's been an amazing game. 2 upper deck home runs, yet what he'll be remembered for if this doesn't turn around, at least in this game, is the throwing error that cost his team 2 runs, and that's the difference right now.
Yeah, that's where a player like Nate Barczi, or Colin Barczi, he is not going to let that define him. He's too talented of a player. He's mentally strong, and he will not tie his identity to that one bad play. That's for sure.
2-2 to Barczi. Stern looks in. Stays alive.
And that time did get extended. That fastball drifted out over the plate. Put a nice swing on it. Oh, he's got a nice short cut. Love to see that, especially with 2 strikes.
882 combined feet of home runs today from Colin Barczi. Takes the slider outside. 3-2.
Yeah, good hold there. He's seeing the ball well. You take a slider like that, you're seeing it well.
You have Brody Johnson on deck, who is also homered and reached base 3 times. Great AB from Barczi. The 3-2. High drive. He's done it again. A hat trick for Colin Barczi. His 3rd homer of the game.
There you go, Ben. That's a professional player right there. He just flushes the air, gets back into the box, gets a pitch he can extend on, does it again. 3 home runs today for Colin Barczi. Have a day. How about the distance on that one? 458 feet.
Oh, man.
118 exit velocity. That is.
He one-upped himself. I thought it was impossible.
Major league, man. That is major league. 3 solo bombs, and that's going to do it for Nate Stern. And you don't want to walk a guy in that situation, certainly, but Colin Barczi got a fastball out over the middle of the plate. And he has not missed on those mistakes today.
So Stern will not pick up his first career save Instead, they go to a newcomer who has plenty of experience in this role, Walter Quinn, the former Lope out of Grand Canyon, one of the best closers in the WAC a season ago. He's set to make his Horned Frog debut in a one-run game after this. Nate Stern can only look on. He just gave up a solo homer to Colin Barczi to cut the TCU lead to 1. And it's Walter Quinn now who enters. Had a tremendous 2025. Transferring in from Grand Canyon, where he had 11 saves a season ago. Second team all WAC. And he tries to shut the door against Brody Johnston in the heart of the Vanderbilt order.
Yeah, you see the funk in the delivery, that low arm release point, and a lot of sink to the fastball, the sweeping slider. It is some nasty stuff at a funky arm angle, but love the story of Walter Quinn. About starting his college career on the Grand Canyon Club baseball team.
Pretty amazing.
He plays 3 seasons at Grand Canyon. Had a nice job offer lined up, but decided to come back to school, transferred to TCU, and here he is.
2-1 count to Johnston. Big hack. Slow curveball coming in on the hands, and it's 2-2. 54 career appearances for Grand Canyon. The Lopes out of the WAC, now in the Mountain West. 12 saves. And their top 10 all-time saves list. The 2-2. Hard drive into the gap. Has plenty of space out there, and it's off the wall. Johnston just missed a homer by a couple feet. And Vanderbilt has the tying run on second with 1 out.
Wow. That did not miss by much. This game was almost tied off the bat of Brody Johnston. He'll have to settle for the double, and that ball was scorched. He got to the wall really quickly, and when you get a sidearm reliever, when you get the ball down, it's got a lot of sink to it. When he gets the ball up and it flattens out, Johnston flattened out that swing and caught it just right. Just did not quite get enough air under it, or this game would have been tied.
Johnston led all SEC freshmen with 30 extra base hits last year. He has a homer and a double today. What a game.
Man, we're at the middle of this Vanderbilt lineup. 3 home runs from Barczi, another home run from Johnston, and now a double.
Huge cut from Braden Holcomb. 6 total home runs, all solos.
Well, now we know why Tim Corbin was a little bit more excited about his offense here to start the year. He says, we are going to solve that problem. We're going to bring in Jason Esposito, and we're going to fill this lineup up with some super athletic guys who can not only run, but they can swing it with some pop.
Tying run at second. Braden Holcomb at the plate, who hit walk-off homers against Alabama and Kentucky in a span of 11 days last year. King and a miss. He's out in front of the curveball.
Yeah, nasty sweeping slider there from Walter Quinn. That looked like a frisbee coming in. And Holcomb could not get on top of it.
Vanderbilt went to a pinch hitter in this spot the last time up in the rotation. And Tommy Gooden, who was in there DH, stays in now. 5-4 TCU lead. The visiting team with a 1-run edge. Bottom of the ninth. Vanderbilt with a tying run on second in Johnston. High pop up. This should do it. The call. Franco the catch, and TCU wins a wild one. 5-4 on opening day.
Well, how about that? Walter Quinn nails it down, his first save in a Horned Frog uniform. And the Frogs take this one in exciting fashion. Of course, we'll go back and look at the 3-run eighth. Giving Vanderbilt a chance with his third home run in the ninth inning, but what a way to close it down for the Frogs. Big first win of the year.
And the second time they've knocked off Vanderbilt on opening day. Globe Life Field did it in 2023. They get a 5-4 win. They were actually underdogs in this game. The odds makers actually favored Vanderbilt. TCU gets the win 5-4.
Well, outstanding start from Tommy Lepore. Is really what you expected from him. Great start on the other side of the mound with Connor Fennell. But this game was decided by the bullpens, and the TCU bullpen just a tick better today.
Leanza Peroni standing on the field. She has our player of the game for TCU.
TCU took the lead late in the eighth, capitalizing on that defensive miscue. What does that say about this team's ability to stay aggressive in late games?
I think, the team just did a great job tonight, taking punches, bouncing back, and just playing one as a team. And, we never gave up tonight.
Big home run tonight. What was the focus in the offseason to make sure that you could come out this year and produce for your team?
I mean, just playing the game, not doing anything crazy, doing what I've done my whole life, just trusting the process.
Your bullpen was dominant tonight, throwing more strikeouts than hits allowed. How important is that depth in closing out a late game?
I mean, you need it, especially with the roster cut this year. You need a bullpen that's going to be able to go deep, and, that's what they did tonight.
Great win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good. Here we go.
You?
I appreciate it, Leanza. A debut to remember for the freshman Lucas Franco. A homer, a triple. He ended up scoring the tying run in the eighth. Almost had another homer, Pat, that he missed by just a couple feet. Preseason Big 12 Freshman of the Year showed why for head coach Kirk Saarloos, and an all-around great performance from TCU. Honestly, both teams, this felt like a super regional type quality game.
No doubt.
The only difference, the Barczi 2-run error in the eighth inning. He certainly did all he could to make up for that with 3 solo homers, but man, what a back and forth.
Yeah, I think both coaches are going to walk away from this game and feel, really good about maybe not so much the outcome on Vanderbilt's side, but about what they saw with both of their teams. This did have that super regional type feel to it. And what a job by both of these teams.
Still one more game to come tonight. Oklahoma State and Arkansas to wrap things up in about an hour. But for now, we say so long. Big thanks to Phil Hopwood, our producer, the rest of the outstanding Flow Sports crew. For Pat Combs, Leanza Peroni, I'm Ben Wilson saying so long for now from Globe Life Field. Our final in Game 2. TCU wins a thriller, 5-4 over Vanderbilt.
Keep it tuned here for our nightcap. Coming up, Arkansas and Oklahoma State right after this.